Chapter 1434. The heavenly king was flustered and exasperated. However, it was useless. At this moment, the divine emperor had a faint smile on his face, as if he was waiting for the fusion of his two bodies. "Young, I hope to see you later." The divine emperor's tone was calm. He did not care about the fusion of the heavenly king's two bodies. He wanted to fight the young god more. Unfortunately, the young god was cunning and did not appear at all. The heavenly king's two bodies began to fuse, but he had no intention of going forward to fight. He slowly dawdled. The divine emperor was not in a hurry. The heavenly king was not in a hurry either. He was in a hurry to die. Since the divine emperor was willing to wait, he would wait a little longer. 1 minute, 5 minutes, the divine emperor smiled. "Heavenly king, it's useless to delay." The divine emperor moved. He walked forward step by step and continued to calm the void. The heavenly king kept retreating while the divine emperor continued to move forward. The turbulent areas on seventh heaven were getting fewer and fewer. The heavenly king's expression changed. He could no longer retreat. If he did, Fong Ping and the others would have nowhere to retreat. "If you want to try, then I'll satisfy you." The heavenly king gritted his teeth and suddenly shot out like a bolt of lightning. Boom! The speed at which he flew out was almost as fast as the speed at which he flew back. The heavenly king flew backward, a palm print appearing on his chest. Blood flowed from his mouth as he looked at the divine emperor in disbelief. The divine emperor smiled faintly. "That's it? This is not the fusion of two bodies. If that's the case, then I'll have to underestimate you." This was not the fusion of two bodies. Too weak. The heavenly king's expression changed again and again. Although his two bodies had not completely fused, his strength should not be too far apart even if he was not as strong as the current Fong Ping. However, he was actually not a match for the divine emperor. How strong was this guy exactly? At the back, Emperor West and the Beast Emperor were also shocked. Although they knew that the divine emperor was very strong, the divine emperor today was unexpectedly strong. The heavenly king was actually sent flying with one blow under the fusion of two bodies. It was too terrifying. Emperor West was afraid. It seemed that this old guy had not been serious before. He almost thought that the old guy was only a little stronger than him. Now it seemed that he might have underestimated him. The heavenly king's expression changed for a while. The next moment, he roared and rushed out again. In the void, countless heavenly kings appeared, forming a large formation and attacking the divine emperor. Rumble! The god emperor was like a 1,000-armed Buddha. Countless hands appeared in the air. His movements were so fast that they left behind afterimages. Each hand would destroy a heavenly king subduing his projection. In the blink of an eye, the god emperor suddenly smiled and said, "Got you." As soon as he finished speaking, the entire void trembled, and only heavenly King Jinwang remained. At this moment, the divine emperor grabbed him with one hand, clenched his other hand into a fist, and punched at his head. Roar! King Heaven Crushing's chi and blood surged, and rumbling sounds could be heard as he punched out with both fists, slamming into the god emperor's hand. A massive boom echoed out, and yet, he wasn't able to shake off the god emperor. The divine emperor's fist smashed down. The heavenly king Zhen Wang roared again, and his body emitted a dazzling light. Boom! With a loud bang, heavenly king Zhen was sent flying again. This time, half of his head was broken. "Too weak," the god emperor said with a smile. "You're weaker than I thought. If that's the case, it looks like you won't be able to leave today." He continued to move forward. Heavenly King Suppressing's face was ice cold. His chi and blood erupted as he charged forward again. Incomparably fast, the god emperor stood where he was and used both his hands to attack. Not long after, heavenly King Zhen was sent flying again. "This won't do." The divine emperor shook his head slightly. This was just a simple fusion of the two bodies. It was impossible for it to do anything to him. Yes, heavenly King Zhen was very powerful after fusing, probably even stronger than Zhan's projection that day. The battle-ready projection was arrogant enough to seriously injure the divine emperor. What about the subduing Heavenly King? The Heavenly King Zhen Wang could only stop him for a while. This was the gap between them. Heavenly King subduing wasn't weak, but he had two bodies. He didn't have enough control over his strength, and his reaction speed wasn't fast enough. Before he even made a move, the God Emperor already knew what he was going to do. No matter how strong one's strength was, it depended on how one used it. When a child swung a sledgehammer, the bigger and heavier the hammer was, the less of a threat it posed to an expert. Instead, it was more likely that it would hurt the child. In the darkness, Fong Ping's expression was grave. Was the Heavenly King subduing strong? Strong. It gave Fong Ping the feeling that even if it did not have 70 million calories, it definitely had 65 million calories outbursts. But now that the God Sovereign had easily neutralized all of his attacks, he would return with injuries every time. If this continued, Heavenly King suppressing would grow weaker and weaker. Soon, he would no longer be able to fight. Fong Ping was raring to go. He wanted to go and help. If this went on, Heavenly King suppressing would be beaten to death. Right now, Heavenly King suppressing had two bodies. If he was beaten to death, then he would really be dead. Just when Fong Ping was raring to go, in the void, an apparition condensed. It was right next to the God Emperor. Heavenly Emperor Reverse. Heavenly Emperor Reverse looked at the panting Heavenly King suppressing, shook his head, and sighed. It's not like this. This isn't the unification of two bodies. Suppressing. Yang had high hopes for you. So did we. We thought that you could become the next truly invincible powerhouse with two bodies as one. But you didn't. I'm a little disappointed. Heavenly Emperor Reverse was a little regretful. The unification of two bodies is not just a simple accumulation of strength. It's integration, unification. The unification of Broken Eight is actually applicable now. Unification is to integrate the strength into one. Even if the strength is depleted, it's still stronger than you are now. Now that you have two bodies, you might have hundreds of millions of strength, but how much can you unleash? Only by integrating completely can you unleash greater strength. Heavenly King suppressing scolded. Nonsense. How can I not know? The key is that the strength is not balanced. It can't be integrated at all. Do I need you to talk nonsense? Do you think I'm a kid? What a load of crap. How could I not understand this principle? Most importantly, there was no way to fuse them. The Emperor of Heaven Reverse was not angry. He said with a smile, then make some choices. Don't try to combine all your powers. You must learn to let go of some powers. Your origin body is stronger, so you should give up some of your origin power. Let the two powers reach a balance before fusing. This way, the fusion will be smoother. The Emperor God looked at Emperor of Heaven Reverse and said with a smile, "You are a warm-hearted person." The Emperor of Heaven Reverse said with a smile, "Not many warriors in the three universes can surprise us. It will be a beautiful story to tell if Zhen can go further." The Emperor of Heaven Reverse repeated, "Zhen, learn from Xuehao. Although our paths are different, Hao did a better job than you, which is why we have Dongwang today." Heavenly King suppressing's expression changed. He ignored him and continued to charge forward. But this time, he was defeated even faster. The Divine Emperor's palm pierced through his shoulder blade. He raised his eyebrows slightly in surprise, but soon he smiled and said, "It seems that you still haven't given up. Why should I give up?" Heavenly King suppressing swore, "Aren't you pretending to be invincible? Is it lonely to pretend to be the best? Fine, give me some more time." The Emperor of Heaven Reverse grinned. The Divine Emperor said with interest, "Then keep trying. I will give you the chance. You don't understand. It has been too long. Since the death of Zhan, it has been a long time since anyone could threaten us. Lonely to be invincible? Maybe a little. It had been too long." Heaven Emperor was asleep, and the Sun God was gone. Emperor God and Emperor of Heaven Reverse were truly invincible. The three universes were a vast place. It was hard to find an opponent. Even if Zhan died, he and the Emperor of Heaven Reverse would have to work together to fight against the Heaven Emperor and the Sun God. Therefore, they would not really kill each other. Sometimes, people could be so pretentious. When there were opponents, they were afraid of threats. When there were no opponents, they felt lonely. The divine emperor thought it was good that Jean could be stronger. Just like when he was guiding Jean, he thought Jean was talented. Therefore, he spared no effort to guide him and make him stronger. The divine emperor was not afraid of strength. As long as they were not enemies, it was also an achievement for them to train a powerful warrior. Perhaps it was fortunate to have an opponent who was on par with them when they were enemies. Powerful warriors were always this strange. At this moment, the divine emperor had given Zhen Wang a chance. Zhen Wang did not hold back. Again, he generated 2 avatars, and the 2 avatars fought around the divine emperor. The divine emperor waved his hands and dealt with Zhen Wang's attacks with ease. But gradually, the others understood. Zhen Wang's origin body was getting weaker and weaker. The beginner martial body was getting stronger. Qi emerged, and a beam of light pierced through the sky and earth. Rumble. The beginner martial body was shockingly powerful. At this moment, it definitely had the ability to break the 9th level. But it seemed to be just over 40 million calories. Zhen Wang was not satisfied. This would not do. He wanted to merge with the origin body at the peak of the beginner martial body and become one of the most powerful warriors. Gradually, people began to feel the difference. The beginner martial body was getting stronger, so much so that it was abnormal. The divine emperor said no more. He was taking the fight seriously. The heaven reverse emperor sighed. This is too risky. One careless move, and the beginner martial body will be wasted. Burning the beginner martial body to reach the peak and merging with the origin body is a good way to bring both bodies to the peak. But it is difficult. Your beginner martial body will last a long time. How can you do it in such a short time? You only have one chance. If you fail, the beginner martial body that you have been working on for tens of thousands of years will be wasted. At this moment, not only the Heaven Reverse Emperor, but so did the other Divine Emperor. Zhen Wang was burning his beginner martial body. His beginner martial body was not as strong as the origin body. The difference in strength was huge. At this moment, Zhen Wang was not weakening the origin body. Instead, he was strengthening the beginner martial body. But this brilliance only lasted for a moment. If the merging failed, even if the origin body was still there, Zhen Wang would be nothing. At most, he would be as strong as an average divine emperor. Powerful warriors like this were rare. The 3 universes only had so many divine emperor. But if that was the case, Zhen Wang would not deserve the attention of the divine emperor and the heaven reverse emperor. Zhen Wang bellowed and laughed. Do you think it's a pity? If so, can you do me a favor? The heaven reverse emperor smiled. How do you want me to help you? I want to prove my origin body. Make it stronger, break the 3 gates, and become a divine emperor. Merge with the beginner martial body and become invincible. If not, then I will die here today. At least I can leave behind the fruit of Tao, so I can have something to remember. He wanted to be even crazier. He wanted to become a divine emperor, to become the divine emperor of origin, to become the divine emperor of the 3 universes, and then merge with the beginner martial body as a divine emperor. If he died, he could leave behind the fruit of Tao. The heaven reverse emperor turned to the god emperor. The god emperor's expressions changed as well. Soon, he said with a smile, if that is what you want, then I will grant you your wish. At this moment, the others were bewildered. Emperor Shi murmured, you are so arrogant. Be careful. Someone might turn the tables and kill you. Too arrogant. He was willing to let Zhen Wang become a divine emperor. But the god emperor said with a faint smile, didn't I plan to let him become a divine emperor back then? If so, there is no time like the present. Last time, I missed it. This time, I will make up for it. Desolation has fallen. If Zhen Wang becomes a divine emperor and he dies, I will not accept the fruit of Tao. Fill the 7th plane? What about the 3rd plane? He has just become a divine emperor. The crack is not big. It will be easier to suppress it. The god emperor said calmly. When Zhen Wang became a divine emperor, the 3rd plane would have cracks. But the god emperor would not mind. He would kill Zhen Wang, fill the 7th plane, and fill the hole left by Emperor Nan. The hole in the 3rd plane would be easier to suppress. That was why the other divine emperors were looking for substitutes. They would use their fruit of Tao to fill the hole. The hole created by the new divine emperor would not be big. Besides, they would be free by then. They would not care about the size of the hole. Up to you, Emperor, she said no more. Zhen Wang laughed. At this moment, someone came out from the origin body. Origin body. The origin body flashed and disappeared. No one stopped it. The next moment, outside the origin body, Zhen Wang's origin body appeared in front of a door. With a boom, the door was smashed. The door was broken. Zhen Wang stepped in. Rumble. In the third plane, a fruit of Tao quickly condensed. At this moment, the entire three realms suddenly shone from darkness. Rumble. A figure appeared in the void of the three realms. Zhen Wang. No, today it was Zhen Wang. In the catacombs, the powerhouses looked at the projection in the sky, shocked and envious. At the same time, they felt complicated. Zhen Wang had become an emperor. At this moment, a golden lotus appeared in the void. Golden light shone brightly. However, was becoming an emperor a good thing at this time? Not necessarily. But becoming an emperor was the ultimate goal of the powerhouses of the three realms. It was their greatest wish. Zhen Wang had proven his Tao. Emperor, a true emperor. The seventh plane, Zhen Wang's origin body erupted. An invisible force was tempering him. The power to break the door. At this moment, his origin body was getting stronger and stronger. Breaking through three gates also gave him an upgrade. Condensing fruit of Tao also improved. At this time, his origin body alone had a strength of no less than 60 million calories. It had been settled for too many years. A long time ago, he could have reached this step, but he could not and did not dare to. Today, he took this step. He was stronger than the emperor of the past. When he proved his Tao, Zhen Wang's bones, flesh, and mentality were all changing. The beginner body was also getting stronger and stronger, making the final eruption. The divine emperor suddenly stopped attacking and said lightly, "I'll give you a chance. Whether you can grasp it or not depends on you." In the void, someone laughed and said, "Zhen Wang, fuse. After fusing, you'll be invincible. When the time comes, we'll teach this old thing a lesson. Let's see if he can still be arrogant." Zhen Wang snorted. He was now full of resentment towards this master of his. Invincible my ass. If I wasn't forced to this step, why would I make such a choice? The beginner body burned, and the origin body proved his Tao. The beginner body was destined to be finished, and it was hard to say what would happen to the origin body. If he failed this time, the divine emperor would probably not be interested in him anymore. If he got rid of the origin body and left the fruit of Tao to repair the seventh plane, he would really be finished. Ignoring the others, Zhen Wang's origin body gathered again. The beginner body burned again, incomparably resplendent. Zhen Wang was getting stronger and stronger. Zhen Wang cursed, "When I succeed, I will drag them all out and beat them to death." You want to watch a monkey show, right? I'll let you watch as much as you want. All of you really think you're so great. Just wait and see. After a while, the beginner body began to fuse. Ah! A blood-curdling screech rang out. There was a sizzle. A chemical reaction occurred as if someone had fallen into a pot of boiling oil. At the moment, Zhen Wang was burning. The Heaven Reverse Emperor watched for a while. He frowned and suddenly sighed. There is still an imbalance. The origin body is still suppressing the beginner body. The divine emperor shook his head. He had failed. The balance between the two was not achieved. Zhen Wang, who had formed the fruit of Tao, had a stronger origin body. The origin body was rejecting the beginner body. At this rate, Zhen Wang's beginner body would be burned up and his origin body would be injured. The beginner body was still not strong enough. If Zhen Wang was not ambitious, he might have a chance to succeed. Sigh. Someone heaved a sigh, dissatisfied. The next second, a surge of energy came through the origin body. The sun god said with a smile, "What are you looking at?" He took away a lot of energy from the origin body, and some came back. If he succeeds, then it is nothing. But if he fails, you can have some to fix the hole in the origin body. The beginner body had taken away some energy. The beginner body referred to the sun god. The sun god had taken away a lot of origin body's energy. It might even be before the Heaven Emperor had reached the origin body. In other words, the sun god might have discovered the origin body in advance. Only the celestial arch knew whether it had been snatched away before or after. If it was after, the Heaven Emperor was prepared. He was so powerful that he would not let the sun god take away his energy. But today, the sun god had returned some of it. Even though it was for the beginner body, if the beginner body died, the energy would return to the origin body. Therefore, this time no one stopped him. Taking energy from the beginner body was much easier than the sun god. "Old man, you finally did something serious," Zhen Wang cursed. He was overjoyed. Finally, for once. At this moment, he felt the power of his beginner martial body. He could also feel that the repelling force from his origin body was much weaker now. The reason for that was because this power was the power of the origin. Origin, the land of darkness. The corpse opened its eyes again. At this moment, the huge abyss below the corpse seemed to have healed a little. The corpse looked outside. At this moment, an illusory figure appeared and chuckled. "What are you looking at? I'll return you a bit of power." "No, I'll return the 3 realms a bit of power. The source isn't yours." The figure chuckled and said, "Cheonghedu and the others are not easy to deal with. Sooner or later, they will kill you. There is no way to fill this abyss now. When the immortal source matures, the human race will not be the first to be destroyed. I think the first to die will be you." The corpse opened his eyes, looked at him, and said softly, "You don't have to do this. In fact, there is still a way." "Solution?" The figure smiled and said, "Of course there's a way. You and I are both dead. Filling it with power might be enough. Perhaps, if you die, the 9 emperors and the others die, it should be enough. Or, if you died, the 3 realms would be buried with you. That would be enough. Or, if the 9 emperors died, the 3 realms would be buried with them. The celestial arch, the young god, the 9 emperors, and the 3 realms. At this moment, they were equal to the young god. 2 people, 2 great forces. Choosing any 2 of them could make up for the defects of the origin. However, who would be willing to be a sacrifice? The corpse whispered, "There are seeds." The young god smiled and said, "Yes, there are seeds. Seeds count, so there are 2 choices. Seeds, maybe I can suppress them with my strength. The key is that if you can't find them, you still have to let the human race lure them. You can find them. Don't look at me. I can't do it either." The young god chuckled and said, "I have no choice. Why don't you commit suicide? If you die, I will help you find a way to kill the 9 emperors, and then you should be able to make up for it. There will be more in the future. Only seeds are the best choice. In the future, when someone becomes an emperor, it will continue to expand," the celestial arch said slowly. "That's a matter for the future." The young god laughed and said, "How about it? Try it? Commit suicide?" The celestial emperor did not reply. Yangshin laughed, glanced at the abyss below, and said, "It's getting bigger and bigger. You haven't made much progress these years. They made up for it in the past, but it's useless now." There was an arrow stuck in the abyss down below. The arrow quivered, and the vague outline of a woman could be seen in it. The long arrow pierced into the depths of the abyss, and many cracks appeared around it. The young god glanced at it and said with a smile, "Jean is still so powerful." This arrow was merciless. The celestial arch said calmly, "There's no need for him to show mercy. What a pity. Say, if he had become a martial emperor back then, would he have been able to patch up this abyss? Impossible." The celestial arch replied in an indifferent voice, "There isn't that much energy left. The energy in the origin ground can only support the ascension of others to the Battle Emperor stage, but it won't be enough to support the ascension of the Battle Emperor stage. Unless the seeds..." But I think that year, Jean felt that he was confident. "Say, do you think he knows where the seed is?" The celestial sovereign said nothing. The young god laughed, and the phantom disappeared. "I'm not going to chat with this fellow anymore. I'm going to check on the fellow in town. It seems like the fusion is about to succeed." At this very moment, Heavenly King Jin roared. His voice shook the 3 realms, Jun! With a loud roar, Heavenly King Jin suddenly felt that he was powerful and invincible. He suddenly punched at the Divine Emperor. Boom! The Divine Emperor also punched out. The two fists collided in the air. Heavenly King Jin still felt that he was invincible, but in the next moment, with a loud bang, he smashed through the void and flew back tens of thousands of meters. And this time, the Divine Emperor was not as indifferent as before. Rumble! Stepping through the void, the Divine Emperor retreated some distance, slightly raised his eyebrows, and soon smiled faintly. Interesting, it's almost an era, but unfortunately, still too weak. Behind him, the Western Emperor's teeth ached. Now, was it so easy to become stronger? Xiong, this guy, was really arrogant. What did he mean by close to an era, but still so weak? He didn't take them seriously at all? P.S. My toothache is so bad that my face is swollen. I'll try to make it to midnight tonight. Chapter 1435. Taking leave from Global Martial Arts. Please wait for a moment. After the content has been updated, please refresh the page to receive the latest update. Chapter 1436. Heaven-suppressing king was smashed away. The God Emperor said he was close to the human sovereign realm, but he didn't take it seriously. But for the others, it was astonishing. In the distance, heaven-suppressing king grinned. At this moment, he sensed a powerful force. The integration was a success. He should have failed, but the sun god had given him a lot of energy. The energy from the origin helped him complete the integration. Qiong! Heaven-suppressing king laughed. Thank you, I did it. The God Emperor was calm. So what? Yes, so what? Your combat strength is less than 100 million. So what if you succeeded? Moreover, the current Heavenly King subduing Heavenly King, after fusing his two bodies, was instead limited. He was trapped in the Source Land. From now on, he was a member of the human sovereign realm. If he didn't die today, Heaven-suppressing king would have to go to the third heaven. Otherwise, when the origin was destroyed, he would die as well. Did he win? Or did he lose? Was it helping or harming him by making him fuse into one? No one could say for sure. Heaven-suppressing king chuckled. So what? Of course it was different. At least, he had become stronger. A saber appeared in his hand. It was Emperor Reverse's weapon. Heaven-suppressing king grinned. It has been tens of thousands of years, and I haven't had a good fight. Qiong, you can let loose today. Bring it on. PFF. Space cracked. Heaven-suppressing king made a slash without hesitation. The God Emperor turned his hand into a saber and made a move as well. Boom! The seventh heaven trembled again. Only shadows were left as the battle broke out in the sky. 3 universes. The world was shaking and the sky was cracking. The ninth heaven was dividing the 3 universes. One by one, the experts looked up at the sky. They saw the reflection of the powerful warriors in the 3 universes. The 2 invincible experts kept colliding and exchanging blows. On the ocean, Taoist Fengyun exclaimed, "Zhen genius! What a genius!" He became a sovereign realm warrior. Once he became a sovereign realm warrior, he could fight against the most powerful God Emperor. Earth Xing was curious and envious. Lord, who is stronger, Heaven-suppressing king or you? By now, everyone had agreed that Taoist Fengyun was the earthly sovereign realm warrior. Earth Xing was an old subordinate of earthly sovereign realm. Of course, when earthly sovereign realm warrior became the earthly sovereign realm warrior, he wasn't even born yet. When the earthly sovereign became famous, he was just a soldier in the earthly palace. Later, when the Emperor of Earth disappeared and Hong Kun established the Divine Sect, he entered the Divine Sect and was considered to be in the middle level. If Taoist Fengyun was an earthly sovereign, then he could also be considered a descendant of the earthly sovereign. Therefore, he didn't feel as awkward as before. After all, Taoist Fengyun was his superior's superior. Taoist Fengyun asked with a faint smile, "Who do you want to be stronger?" Earth Xing was embarrassed. He was only an Emperor Realm Master right now, which was too far away from their realm, but he was really curious about it. Taoist Fengyun smiled and said again, "Jin's current ranking should be second to Ji and slightly stronger than Xian. He was weaker than the human emperor, but stronger than the North Emperor." This was the current heavenly king subduing. Before he had even finished speaking, the sea realm shook and the three realms trembled. The cultivators of the origin lineage all felt the laws of origin tremble. Their blood surged. When Daoist Fengyan saw that, he smiled. Hurry up and cultivate. Right now, the origin emperors are fighting, the great Tao trembling, the source revealed, the direction clear. Now is your chance. Wasn't there no way out just now? Now the path is in front of you. Follow the source. That's your direction. Your chance is here. With a thought, Earthshing instantly entered the source world and entered the great Tao. As expected, he felt the aura of the source and the direction of the great Tao. The great Tao was visible. Thank you for your guidance, sir. Earthshing was overjoyed. Without delay, he quickly sat down and cultivated. The great Tao was visible. At this moment, in the human world, Wang Jinyang's voice spread across Earth. He shouted, cultivate quickly. The great Tao is visible. Break through. Open the path. Strengthen yourself. Defeat the enemy. In the catacombs, Li Zhu's voice also spread everywhere. Cultivate. This was the best chance to cultivate. The great Tao was visible. The source was revealed. And the emperors were fighting in the source. The opportunity was here. There was no direction in the darkness, and the great Tao was difficult to walk. This was a problem that many origin powerhouses had. Today, this problem was solved. They could follow the direction of the fluctuations without making any mistakes. The source was there, and the end was there. The cultivators could no longer be bothered with the battle. They all sat down cross-legged and started cultivating. Roars came one after another. People kept breaking through. Many experienced powerhouses had taken the wrong path. They did not know where the end was. They opened up the great Tao randomly, and in the end, they had nowhere to go. But today, there was a beacon light to guide them. The seventh heaven. The entire seventh heaven was in chaos due to the battle between Heavenly King and Emperor God. Emperor West and the Beast Emperor had left a long time ago in case they were involved. Emperor of Heaven Reverse began to suppress the seventh heaven, watching the two powerhouses fight. In the darkness, Fong Ping's eyes flickered. He snatched a star stone from the cat's mouth. Ignoring the cat's sad look, he swallowed it and began to cultivate. Run. This might be a good chance to run, but he could tell that Heavenly King was no match for Emperor God. They seemed to be fighting well, but in fact, Emperor God was having it easy. Heavenly King, on the other hand, was going all out. Was Heavenly King strong? Too strong. Heavenly King was stronger than Fong Ping anyway, but he was not as strong as Emperor God. If Fong Ping dared to run now, Fong Ping suspected that Emperor God would soon suppress Heavenly King and kill him. Heavenly King had a master to back him up, but Fong Ping did not. Emperor God was angry that Fong Ping ruined the Emperor's plan. He would not be polite to Fong Ping. Fong Ping grinned. I don't need you to be polite to me. Escape depended on the timing. The stronger he was, the faster he could run. Fong Ping began digesting the star stones. Previously, he killed Emperor Nan. Out of the 2 star stones that Emperor Nan gave, he exploded one. Fong Ping obtained the other one, and Song Mao also obtained one. 2 star stones. Fong Ping, who had burned Tianqian Dao, was only left with a 10% increase in Dao. It was only 100 meters. Fong Ping decided to give up on Dao, seal off his source world. Fong Ping had hesitated many times before. This time he decided to give up. Old Zhang might still want to lend him away, but Fong Ping did not want to let him. After he sealed off his source world, there might be another big upgrade. It might not be worse than Dao. Now, Emperor God had helped him make up his mind. That was good. He wanted to see how much benefit he would get after sealing off his source world. Suppress. Kill. Piercing punch. Royal Slayer. At this moment, King Subduer was truly powerful. The void was filled with his silhouette. His vitality shook the 3 realms. However, the Divine Emperor didn't change at all. Standing on the spot, Emperor God punched, struck, kicked. No matter how powerful King Subduer's killer move was, it could do nothing to him. Is that all? Emperor God was indifferent. I thought you could break through the limit by merging your 2 bodies. Now it seems you can't. If there are levels among the emperors, according to what you said, breaking 100 million is another level. Now it seems that you are still lacking. Among the 9 emperors and 9 sovereigns, only he, Emperor Heaven Reverse, and Emperor Dongwang had broken through 100 million. Emperor Dongwang was even weaker than him. He barely reached that standard. Even so, Emperor Dongwang's strength was not something a human emperor could match. King Subduer and Emperor Dongwang were not even a match, let alone Emperor God. Bang! With a loud bang, King Subduer was sent flying again. A red palm print appeared on his head. It was burning his vitality. Emperor God took another step forward. Behind him, things calmed down again. He did not stop. He moved forward step by step. King Subduer looked helpless. Too strong. Seriously, he did not expect Emperor God to be this strong. He thought that when he merged his 2 bodies, especially after he became an emperor, he could defeat Emperor God even if he was not as strong as him. But now, it turned out that even after merging his 2 bodies, he was still no match for Emperor God. The gap was huge. Xian Jichen, you saw it. He is so strong. Are you sure you want to be on his side? If this goes on, you will all become sacrifices. No one paid attention to him. At the emperor level, no one would declare their position easily. Emperor God was strong, but he was not invincible. Sun God, Emperor Heaven Reverse, and even Emperor Dongwang were all his opponents. Now that King Subduer wanted to rope them in, they would not go against Emperor God. Emperor God grinned. Step by step, he asked, "How long can you stop me?" Boom! He threw a punch. King Subduer took the blow. His vitality shook heaven and earth, but he was forced back again. Keep going. Boom! Emperor God struck again. King Subduer fell back again. At the 7th layer of heaven, Fong Ping's hiding place was getting smaller and smaller. Fong Ping was still digesting the star stones. The previous 4 star stones made his strength improve a lot. Now, there were 2 more. The origin continued to expand. Emperor West spent tens of thousands of years to accumulate more than 10 star stones. Emperor Nen seemed to have even less. Fong Ping did not know if some of them were destroyed or not, but he did see 2. One of them had even exploded. The one the cat had was not Emperor Nan's. Rumble. The origin was expanding. Fong Ping did not lack origin soil now. The star stone that King Subduer gave him could give him enough origin soil to lay out the origin world. If he did not have this, Fong Ping might need some time to convert it into strength. Soon he digested the 2 star stones. At this time, Fong Ping had already taken the Tao, giving up Tian Chen's Tao. Vitality. 5 million calories, 30. 5 million mentality, 5,000 hertz, 255,000 hertz, force. 2,500 calories, 50 million calories vitality, jade bones. 99% with vitality qualitative change, origin world. 8,000 meters combat techniques, chaos vanquishing saber techniques, plus 18%, power control. 99%. Fong Ping glanced at the data. After the absorption, the origin world expanded by more than 1,000 meters again, reaching a huge size of 8,000 meters. Fong Ping quickly converted. This time, after the conversion, the force was stronger. Force, 2,800 calories, 56 million calories vitality, jade bones. 99%, with vitality qualitative change, origin world. 8,000 meters combat techniques, chaos vanquishing saber techniques, plus 18%, power control. 99% maximum vitality. 6541920/660800000 cal without the Tao. The current Fong Ping's maximum outburst was only 66 million calories. This kind of strength was not even comparable to the weakest emperor. Compared to before, it was also close to 8 million calories vitality outburst. Jade Bones had not reached 100%, and so had power control. Fong Ping's expression changed for a while. At this moment, in the origin world, Fong Ping looked at the hole above and hesitated slightly. Could it still be opened after being sealed? He did not know. If there was no improvement and no Tao to continue to install, Then his vitality would be 66 million calories, much weaker than before. Old Zhang was right beside him. He could actually borrow it. However, if he burned old Zhang's Tao, could he still recover? Without strength, would old Zhang still have a chance to survive? Fong Ping took a deep breath. Seal the origin. At this point, there was no need to hesitate anymore. Suppressing Heavenly King was already showing signs of defeat. The God Emperor was only testing his limits. At this moment, if he advanced step by step, suppressing Heavenly King would soon be defeated. When that time came, Fong Ping would have nowhere to run. Seal! Fong Ping bellowed in the origin world. Near the hole above, crystals quickly melted and began to cover the hole. Fong Ping was a little nervous. The cat did not have a hole, but he did not see how strong it was. What about himself? Hopefully, he could become stronger. That day, Heaven Exterminating Emperor told him that sealing the origin might have a different effect. However, even Heaven Exterminating Emperor did not seal it. Rumble! The origin world was shaking. In Fong Ping's real body, the brain nucleus in his head kept spinning. Faster and faster. More and more chaotic elements. At this moment, the origin world suddenly shook more violently. The God Emperor glanced at the origin world, frowned slightly, and punched through suppressing Heavenly King's arm, frowning in silence. Beside him, Heaven Reverse Emperor was also watching the shaking heaven and earth, a little strange. It was not the seventh heaven that was shaking, but the entire origin world was shaking. What happened? The dark abyss. The God Emperor opened his eyes again, a little strange. An origin martial artist has left the origin world? The God Emperor murmured, a little puzzled. Who? Fong Ping? Or someone else? An origin martial artist. Even if he did not go to the origin world, his Tao had already been connected to the origin world. But now, someone seemed to be leaving the origin world, completely out of the control of the origin world. Not only that, the other party seemed to be seizing some of the origin world's power. Second origin world? The God Emperor suddenly murmured. Was someone trying to build a second origin world? The God Emperor murmured for a while, sighed, and said no more. It was not too obvious now. It might be Fong Ping or someone else. Let's wait and see. Second origin world. Could it really be successful? Even if it was successful, there might be a lot of drawbacks. Maybe it could be of some use to him. The God Emperor did not care anymore. At this moment, the God Emperor's expression changed. His moves were even stronger. Suppressing Heavenly King attacked again and again, but was defeated again and again. Flesh and blood exploded. Even someone as powerful as suppressing Heavenly King could not withstand the God Emperor's attacks. Suppressing Heavenly King looked bitter and roared. What are you trying to do? What benefits does killing Fong Ping bring you? He can't pose a threat to you. What I need is a pawn that follows the rules, not a variable. The God Emperor's voice was cold. Fong Ping was a little annoying. He had ruined his plans again and again. Although it was not too serious, he was a little impatient. He had waited for so many years not to let Fong Ping ruin it. Boom! He moved forward again, and the rear was pacified again. There were fewer and fewer chaotic places on the seventh heaven. If this went on, he would soon be able to find Fong Ping hiding in the dark. Covered in blood, suppressing Heavenly King roared. Is there really no one willing to stop him? The three realms just let him do as he pleases? Hongji, are you just going to watch? They don't dare to intervene now. The God Emperor said indifferently. Me, Celestial Emperor Do Yang. The four of us haven't fought yet. How would they dare to take risks? They're waiting for an opportunity. Unfortunately, now is not the time. He could see everything clearly. Those people were waiting. Which emperor did not have a plan? The key was, did they dare to intervene now? You, suppressing Heavenly King, are not Yang God. You can't match me. Why would they choose a side at this time and offend the God Emperor? Naturally, suppressing Heavenly King also understood this. He roared again. Old man, do you want to watch me die too? Fight him. Don't be afraid. You won't die. Laughter came. Young God's voice was still indifferent. He doesn't dare to kill you. If he kills you, I'll find a chance to kill him. Don't worry, it'll be fine. Bastard. suppressing heavenly king cursed. Say Fong Ping and leave. Disciple, I can't act recklessly. Young God laughed. Fong Ping has not only disrupted Xiong's plan, he has become the public enemy of the three realms. I can't protect him either. Nonsense. Suppressing heavenly king cursed. Young God laughed. I'm not talking nonsense. It's the truth. He is not my plan. Don't think too much. However, I can roughly guess who did it. It's a pity that that person can't protect him now. Suppressing heavenly king's expression changed slightly. The God Emperor said indifferently, it seems like my guess is the same. If that's the case, let Fong Ping end this. Boom! His arm was like a spear. With a punch, the void was pierced, and even other layers of heaven and earth were vaguely revealed. Suppressing heavenly king's bones were broken by the punch, and his flesh and blood flew everywhere. He gritted his teeth, roared again, and raised his saber to attack. The killing continued in the source world. Fong Ping did not care about the changes in the outside world. At this moment, he was slowly experiencing something. Power, purity, the source, the feeling of having all the power under his control. At this moment, he suddenly felt what his own power was. At this moment, all the power in this small world belonged to him. He sensed the existence of those cities, the existence of those projections, and everything. He sensed that he had complete control over the source world. Rain come, Fong Ping murmured. In the next moment, in the source world, it was raining cats and dogs. The four fat babies looked surprised. One after another, they soared into the sky and bathed in the rain. Wind come. The wind was blowing. The strong wind blew, and many shadows were blown away. This is creation? Fong Ping murmured. Until today, he felt that he had complete control of the small world. Whatever he wanted, he had it. Was this world creation? Fong Ping suddenly laughed. Power. 100% power. Completely under his control. He believed that someone had reached such a realm before. The Heavenly Emperor in the past must have reached it. Heavenly Emperor Zhan must have reached it. As for the others, Sun God, these few top-notch powerhouses might have reached it, and so might the cat. However, this cat did not seem to think that it was anything special, and it did not reveal too much. The source of power. In his mind, a complete brain nucleus erupted with a dazzling light. Gradually, it disappeared in his mind, hidden and no longer visible. In the source universe, a star flashed and disappeared. Soon, it escaped into the void and could not be found. At this moment, Fong Ping felt the benefits of sealing the source. Force, 2,800 original, 56 million calories vitality, jade bones, 99%, additional vitality qualitative change, source world, 8,000 meters combat techniques, chaos vanquishing saber techniques, plus 20%, power control, 100%, plus 20%, maximum vitality. 78400000 cal with 100% power control. He could unleash 120% of the effect. After full control, his combat techniques would be improved by 2%. Fong Ping's combat techniques had not shown any signs of improvement since he came out of the mystic realm last time. Today, it had improved again. An outburst of more than 78 million was a normal outburst. Sealing the source did not seem to change much. Compared to when he had the Great Tao, the improvement was not much, but the two were different. At this moment, Fong Ping's ultimate outburst was his own power. His control over his power was his own. His combat techniques were also his own. In other words, the current him, even if he fought to the last moment, his power control and combat techniques would not be weakened again. He was that strong. Fong Ping firmly believed that the current him would not be any worse than the previous Emperor Nan, even if Emperor Nan used the vitality induction skill. Until now, he had truly reached the point where he could stand shoulder to shoulder with the Emperors. Moreover, he did not need to be suppressed by the source. The Divine Emperor and the others had to spend some power to suppress the source. Including the Heavenly King suppression, they also had to spend some power to suppress the third heaven. But Fong Ping did not need it. He was very free. He was so free that he could do whatever he wanted, destroy the source, and break it. Jade bones haven't changed yet, Fong Ping murmured in his heart. He understood. If he wanted to reach 100% jade bones, he might need true blood. When he changed to true blood, the jade bones should change. At that time, his jade bones would be 100% jade bones, and there might also be an additional increase similar to strength. The current me should not be weaker than the Heavenly King's suppression. The Heavenly King's suppression's vitality should be stronger than his, but he needed to suppress the third heaven, and the consumption was also considerable. Fong Ping plus the Chaos Vanquishing Saber should have a combat power of more than 80 million calories. It should not be a problem. As for the Heavenly King's suppression, this was probably the level that he could outburst now. Can I match the Divine Emperor? It should not be possible. And Fong Ping did not need to match him. He only needed to make the Divine Emperor tired of dealing with him. Fong Ping grinned. The Divine Emperor was restricted by the source, but he did not need to be restricted. Breaking the source, breaking it had nothing to do with him. After thinking this through, Fong Ping was not as desperate as before. If the Divine Emperor wanted to kill him, it would depend on whether he agreed or not. Bang! The Heavenly King's suppression bled again. At this moment, the Divine Emperor, who was about to continue attacking, suddenly stopped, looking at the void in the distance. In the darkness, Fong Ping carried the cat on his shoulder and slowly appeared, revealing his figure. With a smile on his face, Fong Ping teased, "Godfather, you're so weak. Look at how badly you've been beaten." The Heavenly King's suppression's expression changed slightly. I can't escape." Fong Ping sighed. "The Divine Emperor forced me to show up step by step. Where can I run? Since he insisted on forcing me, then I'll fight him to the death." As soon as he finished speaking, Shu Xiang appeared. The Divine Emperor did not even look at Shu Xiang, but looked at Fong Ping, hands behind his back, chuckling. "Fong Ping, you got guts." "Just as so." Fong Ping chuckled. "It's not a loss, even if I die. I killed an emperor. Maybe an emperor will die today. I don't think it's a loss. I'll kill to my heart's content, after all. I'm only 21 years old. Killing old monsters feels so good." "Ha!" Fong Ping laughed maniacally. "I feel so good. I used 3 years to practice martial arts and killed an emperor. Maybe you guys think that my death is not worth it because I'm young, but I think it's worth it. Killing you bunch of old monsters, I feel so good. Letting your tens of thousands of years of planning go to waste, I feel so good. Ha! Who asked me to not have time to plan? When your plans are destroyed, are you extremely angry? Are you feeling heart-wrenching pain? That's enough." At this moment, only Fong Ping's laughter could be heard in the entire source. The demonic nature of laughter. For tens of thousands of years, this was the first time someone was so savage, so unscrupulously mocking the emperors. 21 years old, the Divine Emperor was a little dazed, but very quickly he regained his composure, looking at the Heavenly King garrison, looking at Fong Ping, looking at Shu Xiang, and the cat. He was laughing too. "If that's the case, then I'll fulfill your wish." The void trembled, and the Divine Emperor, who was motionless, disappeared in the blink of an eye. Fong Ping, on the other hand, flew away, laughing. "Godfather, hold him back for a while. I'll break the source today and let them die." At this moment, Fong Ping disappeared instantly, appearing in front of someone in the blink of an eye. The person who was blocking the way. The Beast Emperor did not plan to block the way, but Fong Ping purposely targeted him to break through. The saber came out. A saber glow appeared in all 3 realms. In the world, a clear roar shook the 3 realms. "I have a saber. If I can't subdue the chaos, then I'll end the world." The force of destruction erupted. The Beast Emperor's expression changed drastically. He turned into a giant dragon in the blink of an eye. He had no intention to fight at all. Escape first. There were so many powerhouses here. Why should he fight to the death with Fong Ping? This guy's saber made him feel threatened. The saber fell, and the dragon's tail was cut off. The saber came out again. With a rumble, a crack appeared. The crack that had just closed in the 7th heaven exploded again. On the other side, Emperor West was running fast. He disappeared in the blink of an eye. Emperor of Heaven, reverse, raised his eyebrows. Energy erupted, shaking the three realms. With a rumble, the crack was closed. Fong Ping did not care. The saber broke the sky again. Rumble. With a loud noise, the sky was broken. Fong Ping charged into the eighth heaven in an instant, laughing. Today, the three realms will be in chaos. Boom! The saber gleamed, and the eighth heaven collapsed. The beast emperor roared, shaking the sky. Fong Ping wanted the source of chaos. Rumbling could be heard as fissures appeared in the source area, spreading out in all directions. Fong Ping laughed again. Heroes of the three realms, today is the time for the land of chaos to break the ninth heaven, or else there will be no more chances. As soon as he said this, the heroes of the three realms were shocked. The next moment in the human world, the God-forging messenger suddenly flew up and laughed. Today, I will prove my Tao. I will become an emperor. Rumble. With a loud noise, a door appeared in the three realms. With a rumble, the door was broken. The gate of void was broken. All three gates were broken. The God-forging messenger laughed madly. Her shadow shone on the three realms. A shadow that covered the sky, and earth walked toward the top of the sky. Fong Ping, watch me become an emperor. I will help you. The next moment, another door was broken. In the catacombs, Hong Kuan said calmly, just becoming an emperor. Let's do it together. Boom! The gate of void was broken. A cliff appeared in front of them. The Tao was broken. The Tao could not be moved forward. The God-forging messenger looked indifferent. Suddenly, her body cracked, and the divine artifact exploded. The divine artifact was the bone. The flesh and blood were the mud, forging the Tao. How can a mere Tao break stop me? The God-forging messenger laughed loudly. She stepped on the Tao and walked forward. The catacombs. Hong Kuan also let out a light laugh. At this moment, a shocking scene occurred. A great star broke through from the source, smashing through the door and exploding into countless pieces with a rumbling sound. The next moment, the dense energy was terrifying. This powerful energy surged into Hong Kuan's body. Hong Kuan walked forward. In front of him, a Tao of energy appeared. Thank you, Emperor, for paving the way for me. Energy seed. Hong Kuan had known about it long ago. He had even secretly controlled this star. At this moment, he borrowed the power of this star to forge the Tao and help himself. He did not care who designed it, because it was all to help him. The three realms were in chaos. Chapter 1437. The Forge God Ambassador and Lord Kuan were proving themselves. The two laughed out loud, crossed the broken path, and headed for the source. Under normal circumstances, it would be extremely dangerous. But now the source was in chaos. To prove one's Tao was to seek death. It was the most dangerous time to condense the fruit of Tao. However, it was different this time. Fong Ping was stirring up trouble at the source. The Heaven Conqueror was fighting against the Emperor God. Emperor Nan had fallen. The Emperor's power was weakened. At this moment, Fong Ping shouted again, "Humans, break through the ninth heaven and destroy the immortal source. Chu Wu, if you want to get rid of everything, do it together." As soon as he said this, the void trembled. The next second, Wang Jinyang stepped in the air and said with a smile, "Top human martial artists, come with me and break through the ninth heaven." Break through the ninth heaven. A shout echoed in all directions. The next second, hundreds of powerhouses leaped up, broke through the void, and charged toward the ninth heaven. One person could not break through the ninth heaven. What about all of them? At the same time, in the catacombs, the monster emperor and the others looked at each other. The next second, the monster emperor shouted, "Monsters above the monarch realm, follow me and break through the ninth heaven. Charge!" Shouts of fighting were heard. At the Chu Wu land, the god of the underworld shouted, "Those above the Heaven Conqueror realm, kill." Rumble! Heaven and earth were broken. Many powerhouses leaped up. Today, they would break through the ninth heaven and destroy the immortal source. The human sovereign was gone. Emperor of Heaven Reverse and the East Sovereign's avatars were still there. But they were only avatars. What could they do? There were many experts in the three realms. There were a bunch of people who could break through to 8, but not everyone could break through to 9. But what could they do if they could not break through the 9? In the void, Luan and Sherpa laughed. Luan shouted, "Boys, here is our chance. Demon King, kill the human sovereign. We will break through the 9th heaven and destroy the immortal source. Follow me." Boom! Space was broken. One powerhouse after another dashed out and charged toward the 9th heaven. The 9 sovereigns? So what? They wanted to see how far Fong Ping could go and how far he could push the 9 sovereigns. Among the experts of the 3 realms, some had confirmed their daos, and some had killed their way into the 9 heavens. This was the moment. Take the initiative to attack. Without waiting for the world wall to shatter, without waiting for the 3 realms to return to 1, at this moment, he had destroyed the monarch's plan and escaped the monarch's control. 9 heavens. The avatar of Emperor of Heaven Reverse and the avatar of the Eastern Emperor looked at each other and shook their heads. This is troublesome. There were too many at the 3 emperors breaking the 8 barrier. 2 avatars were not enough. Emperor of Heaven Reverse and Sovereign East were strong, but avatars were just avatars. The danger wasn't just that. At this moment, in the 7th heaven, Shu Xiang laughed. "Since you've all proven your Tao, I'll join in the fun. After all, becoming an emperor is stronger than breaking through the 9th heaven." As soon as he finished speaking, the scholarly fragrance source disappeared. In the next moment, 3 scholars appeared outside the 3 gates. The short servant was extremely domineering at this moment. His aura was wild as he laughed and said, "Master, if you don't want to become an emperor, then I will become an emperor on your behalf." As soon as he finished speaking, the 3 doors shattered. The 3 paths led straight to the 3 doors and converged in an uninhabited space. In the next moment, a book materialized in this empty space. An object of the source of the great Tao. Fruit of the Tao accumulation. "Who dares to steal my Tao fruit?" Shu Xiang roared. "Who dares?" At this moment, the Beast King's tail was cut off by Fong Ping. The Beast King had broken the 6th heaven and was busy suppressing the Beast King. The Beast King had no time to pay attention to Shu Xiang. Even when the battle broke out, the Beast King stayed in closed-door cultivation. Emperor Nan had fallen, and Emperor, she had retreated to the 8th heaven to guard his own territory, fearing that he would be affected. North Emperor, Emperor Renhuang, Emperor East, and the Heaven Do still had some energy left. However, the 7th heaven was in turmoil. The Emperor God was fighting against the heaven-suppressing king. Emperor of Heaven Reverse was suppressing the 7th heaven, his own territory, and even the Emperor God's territory. The powerful Emperor of Heaven Reverse was suppressing 3 cracks on his own. The remaining 3, including the human emperor, remained motionless with a strange look in his eyes. Emperor Dongwang closed his eyes and said nothing. Only Emperor North was tempted. But at this moment, he was powerless. Hong Kuan, God-forging ambassador, and Shu Xiang began the unification. Convergence. The 3 powerhouses were condensing their Tao fruit and proving their Tao. Will you kill them or not? Will you have time to kill them? Can you kill them? The crisis of the 9th heaven. The crisis of the source. At this moment, the Emperor God's eyes burst out with terrifying power. He shouted, "Fight, kill them. I am suppressing the source." The Emperor God bellowed, and his chi and blood rushed to the sky. At this moment, there were many shadows of Emperor God above the Emperor God's head. 1 person suppressing the 7th heaven, 1 person suppressing the 36th heaven, his own territory. 1 person suppressing the 27th heaven, the battle of territories. 3 shadows suppressing the 3rd heaven. The Emperor God was suppressing the 3rd heaven alone, and he still had the energy to deal with the Heavenly King of Suppression. The Heavenly King of Suppression roared and attacked him madly. At the 8th heaven, Fong Ping was also destroying in a frenzy, forcing the Beast King to suppress with all his might. The next moment, Fong Ping broke through and entered the ninth heaven. There was no one here. Fong Ping did not care. He continued to break through forcefully and madly attacked the North King. At the 15th heaven, the North King's expression changed. He completely dispelled the idea of snatching other people's Dao fruit. He shouted and the entire space was sealed. He did not want Fong Ping to come and ruin his plan. He was not afraid of Fong Ping. But once the source was disturbed, he might be completely pinned down at the source. Oh, are you going to sit and watch? The Emperor God bellowed. The Emperor of Heaven Reverse had already gone to stop Fong Ping. But Dong Wang did not move. Dong Wang glanced at them and said lightly, "I am going to suppress the source." Dong Wang broke the void and disappeared in the blink of an eye. He was going to suppress the source. Gee, what about you? The Emperor God raised his eyebrows. He took a look at the three people who were converging and said with a smile, "The three of them. I may not be able to kill them. Never mind. I will go and stop them in case they get in your way." With those words, the Emperor God left to stop the three from stirring up trouble. Chun Xian Beast. The Emperor God shouted again, "What are the three of you doing?" The Emperor of Heaven Reverse has gone to suppress Fong Ping. What are the three of you worried about? What are you looking at? 8 sovereigns and 1 emperor. Emperor Nan is dead, and there are still 8 people left. Can't these people be suppressed? The Beast King bellowed. With his dragon tail broken, he was extremely furious. Hearing this, he bellowed and quickly rushed out of the 6th heaven. And at this moment, suddenly, a saber appeared between heaven and earth. Someone laughed and said, "I also want to prove my Tao for fun." Rumble. The 3 gates were broken. The 3 great paths went straight to the source, straight to the 9th heaven. In the blink of an eye, a blood saber condensed. A person stepped in the air and laughed. "Beast King, I will play with you." Buzz. The saber broke the sky. A large saber, breaking the heavens and earth, slashed toward the Beast King. The Beast King roared again, unable to restrain his anger. The new emperor actually wanted to kill him. Damn it. Today, another new emperor was born. The saber that slashed out the 9th heaven previously. Qin Fengqing. At this moment, a person condensed in the void and laughed. "Xiaolong, come, Grandpa will play with you." Slash. The long saber slashed again. The murderous aura shook the sky. The Beast King was furious. The two of them quickly fought at the border of the world, their blood chi piercing the heavens and earth. On the other side, Fong Ping laughed. "Good, Qin Fengqing, if you still don't come, I will have misjudged you." "Haha, don't flatter yourself." In the void, the figure laughed. "You think I am doing this for you? You are wrong. I'm not doing this for you. I am the descendant of the Guardian clan. The Tao of heaven and the Tao of all realms is not something that you, Fong Ping, can order around." "Screw you." Fong Ping cursed. He turned around and slashed at the Emperor of Heaven Reverse. The Emperor of Heaven Reverse threw a punch in the air. After a boom, Fong Ping's saber trembled and his blood chi surged. He spat out a mouthful of blood. Without another word, he fled to another direction. At this moment, the source was in a mess. Xu Xiang and the other 2 fought against the human sovereign, Guardian King against the Emperor God, Fong Ping against the Emperor God, and Qin Fengqing against the Beast King. Emperor East had gone to the celestial source. Emperor North, Emperor Spirit, and Emperor West had not made a move yet. The chaos of the celestial source will do no one any good. At this moment, the Emperor God shouted again, "Spirit, what's your choice?" "Humph." The Spirit King snorted, and the void shook. And at this moment, a cat broke through the air and arrived. Meow. A fat cat was sitting on the ground. Looking at the Spirit King who was about to arrive, the cat said in sorrow, "Fatty, are you going to kill a cat?" The Spirit King frowned and shouted, "Step back. The source cannot be disturbed." Meow. The cat did not step back. Right at this moment, a man came out from the cat's mouth. Old Zhang walked out and said with a smile, "Spirit King, you want to be an enemy of the humans as well?" The Spirit King glared at him coldly. Old Zhang laughed. "I don't think so." At these words, The celestial source trembled. At this moment, old Zhang's energy surged. In the blink of an eye, outside the 3 gates of the celestial source, someone was approaching. Old Zhang, the body of origin was here. I will use the energy of humanity to become a sovereign for a short time. Don't panic. In the human world, many martial artists collapsed to the ground. Old Zhang's energy surged. With a boom, the 3 gates were broken. The next moment, fruits of Tao were forming in the first heaven. At this point, he could not care less anymore. He wanted to hide his strength before, but now, he did not care anymore. Boom! In front of the cat, old Zhang's vitality was surging. His energy was terrifyingly powerful. He looked at the Spirit King and said with a faint smile, "I can still stop you." The Spirit King sneered. He was a little disdainful. At this moment, the cat suddenly turned gray and divine weapons appeared in its claws. It jumped on old Zhang's head and said angrily, "2 against 1, I'll beat you up." Don't misunderstand, everyone. Continue, I'm just a bystander. As soon as he finished speaking, the cracks in the 8th heaven rumbled and healed completely. West King roared with laughter. Suddenly, his blood and chi burst through the sky and broke through the source. In the next moment, a huge hand came from the 3 realms. It didn't attack anyone, but it grabbed at the void. "Silly son, why are you still watching the show? Run! The situation is urgent, run!" Ha! His laughter pierced through the 3 realms. West King grabbed the West Imperial Palace and disappeared with it in the blink of an eye. His voice resounded through the world. "I'll be leaving first. Call me when the final battle is over." Ha! I've been trapped in the source for millions of years. Today, I'm free. I want to run free. This sky, this land, this sea, it's so beautiful. Ha! West King laughed madly. "I've broken free. I've won. You guys go fight. 1 death counts. The rest has nothing to do with me." Celeste. At this moment, many emperors shouted angrily. They didn't expect that the first emperor to escape in the 3 realms was actually West King. And at this moment, West King actually ran away. In West Imperial Palace, a person's head popped out. Celestial Pole looked at his father in shock and was speechless for a long time. His weak father was actually the first to escape. "Haha, silly son, isn't your father awesome? Isn't your father awesome? Is your father smart? Don't look anymore. Let's go to the ends of the earth and see the world. The world is so big. Let's go and see. I'll accompany you to the ends of the earth." Ha! West King laughed. The opportunity was too good. At this moment, the experts were all attracted. Otherwise, it would be difficult for him to escape. Normally, even if he had the power of Emperor Nan, once he used it, it would attract the attention of others. He might be chased by the emperors. Now, come on, I'm not afraid. The 3 realms had become so chaotic, which was also beyond his expectations. It was too fast, too chaotic, so chaotic that no one had spare energy to chase him now that he was running away. Run with the wind. Freedom is the direction. Chase the power of thunder and lightning. The singing started. West King was in a good mood. A song spread throughout the 3 realms. "I'm going to chase freedom. Chase the thunder and lightning. You guys fight on your own." Anyway, he would not participate. At this moment, the 3 realms were stunned. Celestial Pole's father was very similar to Celestial Pole. No, Celestial Pole was very similar to his father. This old fellow was too treacherous and too unexpected. Many of the 3 realms' powerhouses were now trapped in the source, while he had escaped from the source. The first emperor to escape from the source. Moreover, he seemed to have calculated that if West King had been cultivating and absorbing those stellar stones, he might have been stronger than Emperor Nan, but he did not. He would rather give them to Fong Ping and the others. Why? It was not because he could not absorb anymore, but to maintain a balance of power with Emperor Nan. Otherwise, Emperor Nan was too weak, and he was too strong. He could not use Emperor Nan's power to repair the cracks in the Great Tao. There was only balance. Their strength was about the same. Therefore, West King and Emperor Nan had always been on par. It was not really on par, but for the sake of being on par. Today, everyone saw through it. Sea area. Some people were also extremely surprised. Daoist Fengyun looked at the distant West King and suddenly laughed. He could not help but laugh. He was indescribably impressed. What was this? The powerhouses of the three realms were now trapped, including the few who had just proven their Dao. And now, an emperor had escaped. West King. The inconspicuous West King was truly powerful. Emperor Nan's death was definitely related to this guy. Today's chaos could be said to be caused by West King. He succeeded. When the chaos broke out, he ran away. He was also the only emperor to escape in so many years. Daoist Fengyun laughed. Beside him, Earthshing opened his eyes and said, dumbfounded, "That works too." "Why not?" Daoist Fengyun laughed. He ran away. The cracks have been mended. Similar to the sun god, he ran away with his power. Unless the source is completely destroyed, it will not affect him. Why would he not run? Where can he run to? The three realms are so big. He can find a spatial crack and hide. He won't come out until the end of the world. Who would deliberately look for him and kill him? Earthshing was speechless. There was no way to refute that. He was an emperor after all, and he could go all out. No, an emperor who ran around the three realms. Would you go after him? What good would it do to kill him? Those who were of equal strength might not be able to kill him. Those who were powerful might not be able to make up for their flaws by killing him. Then killing him would be in vain. Since that was the case, he was harmless. Why would you kill him? Earthshing was speechless. He suddenly said, "Lord, have you left the source?" "No." Daoist Fengyun smiled faintly. "It's not that simple. Besides, if I were to escape, it would not be as simple as him. Killing Emperor Nan would be enough." Daoist Fengyun smiled and looked again at West King, who had already disappeared without a trace. He laughed again. There was some envy in his laughter. Smart man. He was also a ruthless man. At their level, who was not afraid of death, who was not afraid of being killed, who was not working hard to improve their strength. He did not. West King did not. He kept his eyes on Emperor Nan. He was as strong as Emperor Nan was. Even if he could absorb starstones again, even if he could improve, he did not. He refused the temptation of strength. "I will keep my eyes on you. How strong you are. How strong I am. If you die, you can just make up for the hole that I left." What about the others? If the Divine Emperor killed Emperor Nan, could it make up for the hole? No. The stronger one was, the harder it was to escape. But West King succeeded, being able to endure what others could not. Improving strength was everyone's dream. West King did not care. Fong Ping did not understand the value of 15 starstones. Now, except for a few emperors who had surpassed 100 million, no one else could take out so many starstones. Emperor Nan really only had 2. Beast Emperor did not even have as many as Emperor Nan. West King had 15 starstones. Since Fong Ping and Heavenly King Suppression could improve, how could West King not improve at all? He did not want it. He wanted to be like Emperor Nan. "If you are so strong, I am so strong. I don't care how others improve." He succeeded. The battle at the source paused for a moment because of West King's free and easy departure. He actually ran away. He swaggered away. Before he left, he even sang a song to express his desire for freedom. Even Fong Ping was impressed. "You are amazing." Not only him, but behind Fong Ping, Emperor of Heaven Reverse also looked back with a strange look in his eyes. Celestial? Ambitious. Yes, ambitious. He had been eyeing Emperor Nan for countless years and would not stop until he was dead. But for tens of thousands of years, Emperor Nan had treated him as a brother, a military advisor, and a guiding light in life. If he was not ambitious, what was he? Emperor Nan probably never doubted West King until his death. 9 emperors and 9 emperors. One died, one ran away, and the earthly emperor was not here. Only 7 were left. At this moment, in the source, there were many powerhouses from the 3 realms. Fong Ping, Heavenly King Suppression, Cat, Book Fragrance, Hong Kuan, Heavenly Hound, Old Zhang, God Creation, 8 top-notch powerhouses. If it were not for the difference in strength, just looking at the number of people, They would even exceed the number of emperors. But emperors needed to suppress the source. At this moment, Book Fragrance, who was fighting with the emperor, suddenly laughed. Everyone, if we shake the source, we will be injured and die. It is nothing. Let the source shake. I want to see if Grandmaster can suppress the source alone. As soon as he finished, the source of the heaven and earth he was suppressing shook. Rumble! The void cracked. Book Fragrance spilled blood and laughed. Is this considered hurting each other? Ha! Boom! Heaven and earth shook. Huge cracks pierced through the layers of heaven and earth and began to shake the source land. The God Creation Envoy's eyes lit up and he laughed. Then let's do it together. Rumble! Another layer of heaven shook. The God Creation Envoy also spurted out blood, but he still laughed out loud. Continue. How many layers of heaven can you suppress? Can you suppress the flaws left behind by the emperors? Divine Emperor, aren't you powerful? Try today. At this moment, Heavenly King Suppression suddenly laughed wildly. F***, Book Fragrance, you have a way. As expected, scholars are full of evil tricks. I didn't expect that. Boom! This time, a huge explosion caused the entire source to tremble violently. Heavenly King Suppression also gave up on suppressing it. Come on, hurt each other. I'm not going to fight anymore. Even if you give up on the suppression of the source land, one emperor and one whole, will you suppress it or not? If you don't suppress it, then we'll be finished together. One by one, the newly advanced emperors gave up on suppressing it and allowed themselves to suffer the backlash. Heavenly King Suppression roared, "Go and destroy the source of the Beast Emperor, North Emperor, and the others. Let the source land move, and everyone will die together." Not only did they not suppress the origin land, they even continued to cause trouble. If they died, they would die together. Let the origin land shatter. Let's see who's more afraid of death. The strength of the newly advanced emperors was naturally inferior to that of the veteran emperors. However, at this moment, they did not care. They wanted to see who was more ruthless, who cherished their lives more, and who cared more. The divine emperor's eyes were gloomy. He could suppress 3 layers of heaven, or even more, but these people were shattering one layer of heaven and earth after another. If this continued, the entire source land would explode. To be honest, this was beyond his expectations. In his opinion, even if a few more emperors appeared in the 3 realms, they would definitely not be a match for the 9 emperors and 1 emperor. In reality, that was indeed the case. But now it was a mess. How? Shake the great Tao of creation and Kuin. The divine emperor shouted in a low voice. In the next moment, the Eastern Emperor's voice came from afar and sighed. The great Tao of creation is fake, and the great Tao of Kuin is also fake. Fake! The immortal origin could no longer control their great Tao. That's shaking the town. At this moment, a rumble sounded out from the immortal origin. Someone chuckled and said, "Disciple, I saved your life again. You are really careless." The great Tao actually did not escape. "You are really trash. You have embarrassed Master. I will leave first. You guys have fun." After saying this, the sun god disappeared. However, before he left, he shattered the great Tao of suppressing Heavenly King that was trapped in the immortal origin land. And this was the trump card of the Emperor against the Emperor of the 3 realms. But today, the great Daos of the God Creation Envoy, Han Kuin, and suppressing Heavenly King had all escaped. The divine Emperor's face darkened. He had miscalculated. There was no need to guess. It must have been caused by the chaos last time, allowing these people to find a chance to escape. No wonder these people were so fearless. At this moment, the Eastern Emperor said faintly, "The Heavenly Hound's Tao is still here, and he is the only one who is still here. Yes, the only one." Woof! A roar resounded throughout the 3 realms. The Heavenly Hound was anxious. Damn it. How could he be the only one? When did the others run? Damn it. This was too much. In the Origin Land, 7 of the 8 new experts were not under the control of the immortal Origin Land. There was no justice in this world. Chapter 1438. Can you break the Tengu's Tao? Donghuang's faint voice sounded again. Was it broken? Heavenly Hound's great Tao did not break free. Previously, the West Emperor's side was crushed, but the West Emperor only stole the control. He did not completely steal the great Tao. Now, including Qin Fengqing, there were a total of 9 people. In the end, Qin Fengqing's Tao was not controlled. Only Tengu was controlled. Can't break? Hearing this, the Heavenly Hound panicked. It howled and roared. Don't you dare! I'm in cahoots with the Celestial Emperor. No, you're in cahoots too. We're in cahoots. Spirit Emperor, he wants to cut off my path. Spirit Emperor, you heard him. Tengu roared. No, it could not allow its Tao to be severed. At this time, Emperor Ling also frowned. How? Spirit Emperor shouted in a low voice. Back when they were in Ling Qin's palace, Ling Huang's projection had specifically told Tiango not to prove his way. When the time came, he still told Tiango, which showed how much Ling Huang valued Tiango. The Heavenly Hound was indeed a pawn of the Celestial Emperor. Now, only the great path of the Heavenly Dog was being controlled, which made Ling Huang a little stunned. This dog was too pitiful. Other people dared to break the door to prove their Tao because they were confident. You didn't have any confidence at all, and you're trying to prove your Tao? You've become an emperor? Do you really think that the emperor doesn't have a backup plan? If not for the fact that the Forging God Envoy and the others had secretly created a fake path last time, the Forging God Envoy and the others would have dared to prove their Tao today. There was no point in proving one's Tao. Once the great Tao was broken and the Tao fruit was left behind, these people wouldn't even have the power to resist and would become nourishment for the origin. And now it was the Heavenly Hound. The Heavenly Hound was also impatient and roared. Donghuang, you can't do this to me. How dare you cut off my Tao? I'm not done with you. In the origin of immortals, Donghuang smiled. Not done yet? What a weak threat. However, if Duan Ling Tian couldn't break the Tao, he would think about it later. Out of the 9 experts, 8 of them were out of control. What was the use of breaking the Heavenly Hound's Tao? Instead, he had provoked the 8 of them to view him as an enemy. Today's scene was out of his expectations. In one day, 9 emperors had appeared in the world. What else could they say? The martial emperor's plan was completely messed up. Even the immortal source could not control them. He had plotted for 10,000 years, but today, he had been slapped in the face. Who would have thought that such a scene would appear 10,000 years ago? Donghuang laughed and did not attack again. Within the origin ground, chaos. Battles broke out everywhere. Murderous auras surged. One expert after another was madly destroying the source. Fong Ping slashed the ground with one slash. Behind him, Celestial Reverse Emperor followed him unhurriedly. He sighed. Let's stop. Stop? Fong Ping roared. How can I stop? Since you've made things difficult for us, don't even think about having an easy time. Sigh. Emperor of Heaven Reverse heaved a sigh and said slowly, It is useless. Qiong is not in a hurry. It is you who is in a hurry. If this goes on, the Celestial Arch will be the first to suffer a backlash. Do you want to force the Celestial Arch to attack you? Fong Ping sneered. Let's do it then. If you kill us, I'll see if the Celestial Emperor has the ability to plot against the 3 realms again. Aren't you all going to die anyway? What are you pretending for? Do you really think I don't understand? The source was the graveyard. Your graveyard. The graveyard of the emperors. The Celestial Emperor has long wanted to bury you. Fighting? Do you think I don't understand? Believe it or not, I will let the 3 emperors reincarnate and cut off your Tao. I will let the Celestial Arch seal the source, and we will all die together. At this moment, Fong Ping followed the guidance of the golden stone in his arms and continued to move forward. He shouted, Celestial Arch, cooperate. I'm not afraid of death. No one in the 3 realms is afraid of death. But I am not willing. I want to bury these guys and let them die with me. Today, no one here can leave. All of you will die. Let's die together. We will fill this pit for you. As soon as he said that, even the Emperor God's expression changed. The next moment, between heaven and earth, someone said softly, Are you serious? Yes. Fong Ping roared. Tell me, are you willing to die together? Heavenly King Jin, are you willing? Heavenly King Jin laughed. We're all going to die soon. What's there to be unwilling about? Then let's fill this pit together and benefit the three realms. Not bad, old Zhang said calmly. That's fine. Let's get rid of this trouble and die together. Shu Xiang smiled. I have long wanted to follow Master. Heavenly Hound howled. I, Heavenly Hound, will never be controlled by others. If you don't release the Tao in my immortal source, then we will die together. One by one, the powerhouses expressed their stance. One by one, the powerhouses were willing to die. They would be buried here. Let's die together and fill this pit together. Fong Ping's eyes were blood red as he laughed. Who do you think you are? You can plot against all living beings? Do you really think you're so great? King Kuan, tell me, are you willing? Hong Kuan smiled faintly. If I say I'm not willing, are you going to make trouble for me? Guess. I don't want to guess. Hong Kuan smiled faintly. Emperor is actually a fart. I'm not afraid of them. If you want to die, then let's do it together. However, if Lord Father is listening, then tell me where your Tao is rooted. I will help you mend it and let you escape from the three realms. You are a filial son. Fong Ping laughed and shouted. Earthly Emperor, did you hear that? Trash. I will tell you where your Tao is rooted. Let your son mend the hole for you and keep hiding. The powerhouses of the three realms were in high spirits today. Afraid of death? Who would be afraid at this point? I will take you to hell with me. Plotting against the three realms for 10,000 years, the Emperor's life was worse than death. So was the people of the three realms. At this moment, the ninth heaven, countless powerhouses were coming. Dong Wang, Emperor of Heaven, reversed his avatar. Two powerhouses were here. Dong Wang retracted his avatar, looked at the people, and sighed. Wang Jinyang flew across the sky. He smiled. Maybe I should call you Master. Is Master going to stop us? Let's go back. Dong Wang sighed. With me here, you cannot break the celestial source. Then we will die here. Wang Jinyang's hair and beard stood on end. He shouted, since we are destined to die, why don't we fight to the death? Everyone, can you fight? Yes. Shouts were heard. What was there to be afraid of at this point? To die here, they would either die or break the celestial source. Dong Wang was powerful, terrifyingly powerful. Even the Emperor was not his match, not to mention this group of powerhouses. They would die without a doubt if they fought Dong Wang. But they did not care. Dong Wang looked at the crowd. There were beginner martial powerhouses, catacombs powerhouses, human powerhouses. At this moment, the three realms were united. Break the celestial source. They would no longer be controlled by others. Not even the Emperor. Since they could not escape, they would die in battle. The demon Emperor transformed into a Kuan Peng. His voice was loud. Dong Wang, make way. Otherwise, there will be no demon Tao in the three realms today. I will break your celestial source. Make way. Li Zhu's voice was cold. You want to borrow the strength of the three realms? Dream on. I have set up the dragon-breaking array in God's land. I want to draw the water from the sea of bitterness into God's land. Today, we will die together. Everyone was shocked when they heard this. At this moment, there was a sudden commotion in the outer domain. Countless catacombs people roared in fear. At this moment, a large amount of seawater suddenly invaded the outer domain. The seawater surged, covering and corroding the outer domain. Rumble! The mainland was being corroded. Rumble! The cities in the outer domain collapsed. Countless people were corroded to death. The human army had already retreated. At this moment, some of the powerhouses guarding the passageway were dumbfounded. They were inexplicably shocked. Nine heavens. Li Zhu was still calm. When he heard those voices, he suddenly laughed. He laughed happily and domineeringly. Since the Ji family wants to be the king of God's land, then I, Li Zhu, will be the devil of God's land. Devil, destroy the world. Since you want us to die, then let us die. We will not let you borrow the strength of the three realms. You will kill us. Draw the seawater into God's land. turn the three realms into a land of death. It's a pity that King Wu did not agree to my plan. Otherwise, the seawater will flow into God's land and the human realm, turning this place into a land of death. Li Zhu's voice was cold. He had talked to King Wu. It was a pity that King Wu did not agree. Otherwise, it would not just be God's land that would be drowned. It would be the entire three realms. At this moment, even Hong Yu looked at him in shock. Domineering. Devil Dao. Li Zhu. The devil of the catacombs. The Ji family wanted to be the king, and he wanted to be the devil. The devil of the catacombs. Dong Wang also looked at Li Zhu in surprise. Suddenly he laughed. You, Fong Ping, you guys have really exceeded my expectations. It was really unexpected. The human heart was too unpredictable. In the past, did anyone think that there was a Fong Ping among the humans? No. Did anyone think that there was a Li Zhu in the catacombs? Also no. He was not that strong. However, by controlling the catacombs for 3,000 years, he actually set up the Great Destruction Array in the catacombs. He drew the seawater into the catacombs. At this moment, the 108 outer territories and 108 realms were roaring and shaking. At this moment, someone murmured, "In the past, you caused the war between the North and the South." Some things had finally begun to reveal themselves. The war between the North and the South was not only plotted by the divine sect, Hong Yu, and Feng, and the others. Li Zhu. Yes, Li Zhu was plotting. In the past, the 108 realms were to seal off the land realm so that the Sea of Bitterness would not invade it. On one hand, it was to seal off the remnants of the Earth Emperor God dynasty. On the other hand, it was to stabilize the land realm. However, in the end, the array was broken. At that time, no one thought much about it. Even now, not many people thought much about it. Until this moment, when they saw the cracks in the 108 realms and the seawater surging up, they knew that this must be part of Li Zhu's plan. He had been plotting to destroy the entire land realm for a long time. This was a real demon. Li Zhu smiled faintly without saying a word. He looked at the ninth heaven, at the roaring seawater, at the tall imperial sea mountain, and laughed. It's just the outer territories. The imperial sea mountain is still here. As soon as he finished speaking, there was a loud rumble. With a loud bang, a section of the imperial sea mountain collapsed. Li Zhu laughed again, somewhat satisfied. He murmured, "Destroy it." Today, I will destroy this mountain, destroy this world, and let all living beings in the three realms be companions of the Sea of Bitterness. What a pity, what a pity. Fong Ping, if I had looked for you that day, perhaps today would be the real end of the world. The martial king was too kind. He should have looked for Fong Ping. Work together. If you make things difficult for us, then I'll make things difficult for you. Li Zhu chuckled. Isn't the divine emperor going to refine the three realms? Come on, refine it. Refine this sea of bitterness. I'll make sure he gets nothing. Even if you don't die, you'll be trapped in the source for the rest of your lives. For the rest of your lives. Die of old age in the source. Imprisoned in the source. Come on. Li Zhu shouted in a low voice. Come on then. Daoist Feng Yun was truly shocked this time. Impressive. Another ruthless person. He was not very strong, but he was ruthless. Even he did not expect that Li Zhu would be involved in the war between the North and the South in the past. This fellow had broken the array of the 108 realms to divert the water from the Sea of Bitterness into the land realm. Even without Fong Ping this time, the 9 emperors would still be in huge trouble. At this moment, Daoist Feng Yun looked at the catacombs. The 108 realms were like 108 great rivers, rapidly crashing into the Imperial Sea Mountain. The Imperial Sea Mountain was collapsing. The 108 long dragons roared and attacked, covering all directions. If this went on, the land realm would be destroyed. Once the Imperial Sea Mountain was destroyed, the entire land realm would be submerged in seawater and become a land of death. Ruthless. Li Zhu was truly ruthless. He used tens of billions of lives as a bet, betting that the emperors would give way and let them destroy the source. Otherwise, they would all be finished. Earth Xing swallowed hard. There were so many ruthless people in the three realms. One was more ruthless than the other. Fong Ping was a demon. Li Zhu was a demon. They had all become demons. The 9 emperors had forced a group of demons out. The seawater was still crashing into the catacombs. At this moment, the source began to shake. The emperor god seemed to have sensed it too. At this moment, his expression changed, anger flashing in his eyes. He growled, "How destroy the source? Since they want to die, grant them their wish." A threat? He would not be threatened. Since they wanted to die, he would grant them their wish. At most, he would kill everyone today. How many emperors could survive? The emperor god was incomparably domineering, but that did not mean he could represent the others. At this moment, Spirit Emperor roared, "Let them go! Let them go!" Anger flashed in the emperor god's eyes, and he suddenly struck with his palm. "You want to rebel against the source too?" Boom! Spirit Emperor, Old Zhang, and Cat attacked at the same time, shattering the palm with a rumble. On the other side, North Emperor's expression also changed slightly. He growled, "Qiong, are you crazy? Do you really want to destroy the three realms?" Qiong wanted to destroy the three realms. The Emperor God said coldly, "I've schemed for 10,000 years, and now it's proven that all my schemes were in vain. Then stop scheming. Kill them all, then find the seed. Celestial the Arch, do you want to be threatened? Kill everyone, find the seed, and you can naturally make up for everything. Even if you can't find it, when there's no one left in the three realms, you and I can abandon our power and cultivate for another life, and we will still be the rulers of the three realms." After so many years of scheming, in the end, it was completely destroyed by someone. He was impatient. He did not want to compromise anymore, nor did he want to scheme anymore. Kill everyone, and create another world. If it could not work, then give up the power. When there was no one left, they would still be the rulers of the three realms. Even if there was no one left, so what? The seed was still there, and sooner or later, the three realms would give birth to life again. "You're crazy!" North Emperor roared. Qiong had gone crazy. Or rather, the three realms had gone crazy. The emperors were trapped in the source. Their plans had failed, and they had gone crazy. The people of the three realms had been schemed against for 10,000 years, had endured for 10,000 years, and had gone crazy too. On this day, the three realms had gone crazy. The Emperor God would not compromise. Did Fong Ping and the rest want to die? All right, then he would grant them their wish. Without them, the three realms would still be the three realms. In the faraway sea, West Palace, West Emperor seemed to be smiling, crying, yet not. They're all crazy. The three realms have gone crazy. Who can they blame? He did not know. Should he blame the Celestial Arch? The Celestial Arch had created the origin, but he did not know that the origin would have such a huge flaw, and in the end, the powerhouses of the three realms, including himself, were trapped. Blame the 9 emperors? The 9 emperors were only trying to save themselves. Perhaps they had to use the lives of others to save themselves, but they were indeed trying to save themselves. No one wanted to die, and no one wanted to be a prisoner forever. Blame Fong Ping and the rest? It did not make sense. They were just unwilling to be used as pawns, and they were resisting. Who could they blame? West Emperor did not know. He only knew that if the source was destroyed, the three realms would be destroyed, and even if he transcended, he would not be able to escape. After all, the great Tao was still in the source, just that the cracks had been mended. "Old man, is the three realms going to be destroyed today?" Heaven's Pole asked, and suddenly felt relaxed. "Fine, then let it be destroyed." I've had enough of these days of fear. Say, there are only so many people in West Palace, it's really boring. Heaven's Pole scolded, "What the hell? The heavenly realm was so good back then. I could hold some big banquets, eat, drink, and be merry. It was so good. When I was in a good mood, I could even hold a big banquet." You don't say. Those female officials had really good figures. Unfortunately, after the heavenly realm was destroyed, there was no one to drink with, let alone this. That's good. They're all dead. Heaven's Pole chuckled. West Emperor snorted, ignoring him. He watched the sky shatter, watched the bitter sea roar, and laughed. All of a sudden, he closed the crack. Entering West Palace, he laughed. Who cares about them? While the three realms are still here, come, eat, drink, be merry, and have fun. Even if I die, it will be worth it. Better than those bastards. Even if I die, I will die fighting. Those people had been preparing for transcendence all their lives, fighting for the sake of fighting. Today, he could relax for once. Destroy the three realms. And after a few years, a new three realms will be born. Kaboom! The battle was still going on. Crazy? Fong Ping was not afraid. If the Emperor God was not afraid, what was he afraid of? He had no chance of winning. Since the Emperor God wanted to destroy the three realms, he would fulfill his wish. Fong Ping did not come into contact with Heaven Reverse Emperor at all. He hacked at the source like crazy. Kaboom! Cracks appeared. Heaven and earth were falling apart. What are you fighting for? Fong Ping laughed. Come on, let's destroy this source together. Before we die, let's explode and blow up the source. Let them go. Emperor God, do you want to live? In your dreams. Kaboom! A loud noise was heard. In the land, Emperor Donghuang's vitality erupted, suppressing the powerhouses. His hand covered the sky. His hand was like a wall, reaching into the broken area of Mount Royal Sea to stop the roaring seawater. He sighed. Why bother? These people were crazy. If this went on, the land would be finished. Li Zhu was still laughing. Even though he was suppressed, he was still laughing. You can't suppress me. Li Zhu grinned. The Emperor is too powerful. I know. I knew you would stop me. So, I broke through Mount Royal Sea a long time ago. Did you know that there are 108 caves in Mount Royal Sea? F*CK. You son of a B*H did that? At this moment, in the crowd, Warlord was shocked. He really didn't know. I was wondering why there was a cave at Mount Royal Sea and Purple Cat Mountain. I thought Unquestionable Jian did it. Did you do it? He really thought Unquestionable Jian did it. Back then, he even saved someone through that cave. He did not know that it was Li Zhu who did it. Li Zhu grinned. I have lived for so many years. How can I not be prepared? Do you really think I suppress my master for strength? Ha! Ha ha! To prevent him from ruining my plan. Master, don't you think so? At this moment in the crowd, the Pomprint envoy was taken aback. Master, aren't you the spy of the 9 sovereigns? Li Zhu grinned. You are in charge of keeping an eye on the land. Heaven's subduing king, under the order of the god of sun, is in charge of the human world. Ha! Ha! You're also afraid of trouble. Unfortunately, Heaven's subduing king has been assimilated. You are too weak. I might as well suppress you. Li Zhu snorted and said in a clear voice, Donghuang, keep suppressing. Boom! Down below, Mount Royal Sea suddenly had 108 caves. Like a breached dam, seawater gushed into the restricted area. Li Zhu had already made a secret request. Mount Royal Sea defense line? A ridiculous defense line. When Warlord first found a cave, he thought it was an accident. He thought Unquestionable Jian did it. Today, people learned that every region had a cave. Donghuang sighed again. At the same time, the avatar of Emperor of Heaven Reverse smiled helplessly. The next second, he murmured, I cannot destroy the land. Otherwise, my path of energy will be cut off. The next moment, the avatar of Emperor of Heaven Reverse descended to the lower realm. With a boom, the avatar exploded. At this moment, the avatar turned into flesh and blood, scattering in all directions, flying toward the 108 huge caves. Rumble! The caves were blocked by flesh and blood. Li Zhu's expression changed. Soon he sneered. Let's see how long you can keep this up. Fong Ping. Li Zhu bellowed. As long as we stall the powerhouses of the source, they cannot stop us. Turn the catacombs into a land of death. Let the 3 realms be destroyed. Destroyed. Today, Li Zhu's demon prowess was unparalleled. So be it. Since he, Li Zhu, could not escape, could not regain his freedom, could not become the strongest powerhouse of the 3 realms, then he would die together, in the source land. Li Zhu's roar could be vaguely heard. Fong Ping burst into laughter. You are ruthless. I like it. I have underestimated you. Today, I know that you, Li Zhu, are indeed an influential figure in the catacombs. The Life King and the Ji family are not as good as you. The Ji family, the martial king of the catacombs. Li Zhu, Fong Ping of the catacombs. At this moment, Fong Ping burst into laughter. He felt like he was a kindred spirit. Old Zhang, if it's me, I will fight with him. What are you afraid of? Let's see who lives and who dies in the end. King Wu sighed. In this world, it was difficult to become a demon or a Buddha. Demons and Buddhas were forced to come into being. At this moment, the Emperor God had completely erupted. He suddenly stopped suppressing the source land. His own Emperor of Heaven reverses. Emperor Nan's, he stopped suppressing them. The Emperor God's expression was cold. He quickly caught up with Heavenly King Jin and threw a punch. Heavenly King Jun tried to block, but the punch penetrated his bones. The second punch, bang! His chest exploded. Boom! The source land was in an uproar. Without the suppression of the third heaven, the entire source land was filled with endless explosions. The Emperor God was indifferent. Do you really think I can't do anything to you? If you want to die, then die. Heavenly King Jun grinned. Good, good. Come and kill me. You can hold on for a while. I'll let you kill me. With that, he stopped resisting and dashed toward the Beast King. I'm not suppressing them anymore. Why are you still suppressing them? Let's do this together. Heavenly King Jun slashed. What a coward. The Emperor God was not suppressing them anymore. What are you suppressing? The Beast King turned into a dragon, roared, and fled. Crazy. At this moment, he felt the powerhouses of the three realms had gone crazy. The Emperor God had given up suppressing them. The world was changing. He had no more power to suppress them. Boom! The sixth heaven was broken. The heaven that the Beast King was suppressing was in an uproar. He was powerless to suppress them. In front of him was Qin Fengqing, behind him was Heavenly King Jin, and behind him was the Emperor God. He killed everyone he saw and would not stop until he killed Heavenly King Jin. If this went on, everyone would die. Deep in the source land, the Celestial Emperor opened his eyes. Back then, a single mistake had led to such a bitter outcome. Why was it so bitter and indignant? Today, was he really going to destroy the source land, destroy the three realms, and return them to nothingness? Chapter 1439. Chaos in the Source Realm. The sovereigns of the three realms made their moves. Heavenly King Jun roared. He was no match for the God Emperor, and in the blink of an eye, the God Emperor had caught up to him. Fist after fist, Heavenly King Jun's body exploded. On the other side, the Beast Emperor was fleeing, and Qin Fengqing was charging over with his saber. The Divine Emperor punched out, and Qin Fengqing flew backward. Human Emperor, are you not going to make a move? At this moment, Qin Fengqing laughed harshly. If you don't make a move, I'll sell the seeds. The mortal emperor who was fighting the three monarchs turned around and spoke indifferently. The title of the divine Tao Protector clans wasn't conferred by me, nor was it conferred by you. It was conferred by the seeds. You, and I can't be considered the same. Ha ha ha, cut the crap. Are you going to make a move or not? Qin Fengqing laughed maniacally. If the source land is destroyed, the seed will no longer be threatened. If the three realms are destroyed, the seed will be able to create a new world. Isn't that perfect? You're free. I'm free. We're free together. Destroying the world won't do you any harm. Human Sovereign heaved a sigh and suddenly no longer bothered with Shu Xiang Trio, swiftly charging towards Divine Sovereign. When Shu Xiang and the other two saw the situation, they also snorted coldly and charged towards the Divine Emperor. The six sovereigns besieged the Divine Emperor. It was extremely terrifying. On the other side, Zhang Tao laughed and said, Spirit Emperor, what do you think? He's no longer suppressing the origin land. At this point, you still want to be enemies with us? He's the biggest hidden danger. Killing him can make up for many layers of heavens. Six sovereigns, including Human Sovereign and Heavenly King Jin, besieged the God Emperor. But Zhang Tao felt that it was not enough. If he went over there, there would be the 3 emperors. The 9 emperors besieged him. Emperor Ling Huang's expression changed slightly. Suddenly, he let out a cold harumph, held his long sword, and slashed in that direction. Zhang Tao laughed out loud. Today, the God Emperor was impatient. He wanted to destroy the 3 realms and destroy the origin, but the Spirit Emperor wouldn't agree. At this moment, an entire 9 monarch realm experts charged at the God Emperor. From this, one could see how powerful the Divine Emperor was. The 10 monarchs instantly began fighting in the center of the origin. Boom! The sounds of battle shook the heavens, and 10 phantoms appeared between heaven and earth. The Divine Emperor suppressed the 3 realms, and one person fought against 9 emperors. Boom! With a single punch, Hong Kuan's body exploded. In the blink of an eye, Human Emperor, Heavenly King Zhen, and the others attacked one after another, causing Hong Kuan's flesh to collapse. This was the first time the Divine Emperor had been injured. Too many. Fuse with your flesh. You can do it. The North Emperor roared crazily. It was almost too late. The origin was in chaos. The place he was suppressing was now a pot of porridge. There was also the Heavenly Hound harassing him. Right now, the only thing he could do was to fuse with this seed and kill the Heavenly Hound. Then he would definitely be able to escape. Even if the origin was destroyed, as long as it was not completely destroyed, he would not die. He still had a chance. Like the West Emperor, he wanted to become the second powerhouse to escape from the origin. The life seed began to approach the North Emperor. Moon's spirit laughed. She did not know why she laughed. This was the crazy North Emperor, her imperial father, using her to nurture this life seed. Let her fuse with her flesh to help him. The Emperor. The 3 realms had gone crazy. Human nature, father-daughter kinship, everything was gone. Just as the North Emperor said, 8,000 years ago, the moment the North Emperor's saber flew back, Xian died. Moon's spirit's father died too. The only one alive was the prisoner, the North Emperor. All right, I'll return it to you. Moon's spirit laughed again. I'll return it to you. I'll return everything to you. 8,000 years ago, I thought you were dead. 8,000 years ago, I actually had nothing. I lost my father, I lost my cultivation partner. I lost my home, I lost everything. I had nothing. If you want it, then your daughter will fulfill your wish. The living planet was burning. Moon's spirit was burning, smiling all the while. I'll return it to you. The North Emperor looked like he was struggling, but he quickly calmed down. I've had enough of this life as a prisoner. Back then, didn't I set up this origin for Moon's spirit just for this day? I won't regret it. Moon's spirit was burning, but Fong Ping shouted, "Stop him." It did not matter if the Hongkuan Shatter Seed was destroyed or if the West Emperor was destroyed, but Moon's spirit seed was taken to the origin. The guy who stole control of her seed would have his Tao severed as the seed burned. Who knew how many humans had been controlled? Although the life seed was not the 2 main forces of vitality and mentality, humans had vitality, and humans might have been controlled a lot. The Heavenly Hound roared and charged toward the North Emperor. The North Emperor also had a fierce look on his face. Killing the Heavenly Hound was just right. With the Heavenly Hound's vitality and Tao seed, coupled with Moon Spirit's life seed, they would definitely be able to fill the hole he left behind. He was very strong. One Heavenly Hound was not enough. One life seed that had not fully matured was also not enough. Together, it would be enough. Die. The North Emperor suddenly stretched out his hand and waved. A large saber came from the 3 realms. North Emperor's saber. The saber arrived. It slashed down. With a squelch, a crack appeared on the Heavenly Hound's huge head. The Heavenly Hound howled. In the blink of an eye, a chain appeared and struck toward the North Emperor. You're too weak. The North Emperor snorted coldly. The Heavenly Hound was not someone else. The new Emperor, Fong Ping, Heavenly King Suppression, and Scholar were all very strong. However, the Heavenly Hound and the others were all newly ascended emperors. Their strength was only over 9, between 40 to 50 million. They were still far from him. How could he be afraid of the heavenly hound? At this moment, the North Emperor's expression changed slightly. He turned his head instantly. At this moment, a cat claw came toward him. Squelch! The void was torn apart. Behind him, the cat leaped up and landed on the heavenly hound's head. It was exasperated. Big dog, bite him to death. It had been with the heavenly hound for the longest time, for tens of thousands of years, except for the 3,000 years when the heavenly hound was in deep slumber. The cat and the dog had always been inseparable. The cat was angry that the North Emperor was bullying the dog. The heavenly hound was also furious. It howled and bit toward the North Emperor. The cat roared and threw all kinds of artifacts. At this moment, the life star that Moon Spirit was on was gradually melting. Moon Spirit had a smile on her face. In the 3 realms, her real body began to dissipate slowly and was also condensing and melting toward the source star. 9th heaven. Moon Spirit's real body was in 9th heaven. At this moment, her real body began to dissipate gradually. Not far away, Hanyu looked at her. Moon Spirit's illusory real body also looked at him. The two of them looked at each other. Moon Spirit's lips curled up slightly. All of this should have ended 8,000 years ago. Back then, I thought that all of you were dead and that I was the only one alive. Today, let me die and let the two of you live. I want to see if you can understand my pain. Perhaps you won't, because there's no love between the two of you. As Hanyu watched, he suddenly laughed. The next moment, he opened his mouth and chuckled. Husband and wife are birds of the same forest. When disaster strikes, we fly apart. But some people say that a day as husband and wife means 100 days of love. You and I will be husband and wife for 10,000 years. 10,000 years. 1,000,000 years of love can never be repaid. Hanyu smiled and said softly, "Back then I built the earthly emperor god dynasty and betrayed my father. Because someone told me that he could promise me one thing and help me become an emperor. I don't need it. Today, I will use this condition. Human emperor, shouldn't you fulfill your promise?" In the void, the human emperor grunted as the god emperor punched him. The sound shook the heavens. "What do you want?" stopped the North Emperor. "I can't do it. I can't do it now. I guessed it." Hanyu sneered. "I guessed it a long time ago. You people's words can't be trusted. But since I have nothing better to do, it's not a bad idea to improve my strength. At least the inspector won't cause trouble for me. I can't ask you for help if it's too difficult. Then let's make it simple. Replace me and Moon Spirit." The human emperor said indifferently, "Sure. Haven't you been in a deep sleep for thousands of years because you've been plotting? Have you been looking for this life seed? You're just one step away from it." The next moment, there was a loud rumble. The projection of Moon Spirit on the life seed in the source suddenly shattered. A person suddenly appeared beside him. He grew stronger rapidly. "Hanyu!" Hanyu laughed and looked at the source of the battle. He sighed. "I think I've been here before." Moon Spirit's source is indeed here. He had been in a deep sleep for thousands of years. He was not really in a deep sleep. He found it a long time ago. He had discovered that there was a problem with the Moon Spirit's source. During the thousands of years he had been in slumber, he had always been searching. Following the clues, he had found the seed, and he had long since laid down his own source energy near the seed. Today he replaced it. On the other side, North King, who was fighting with Heaven Dog and Heaven Cat, suddenly changed his expression. Hanyu looked at North King and smiled. "Father-in-law, it's been a long time. Bastard, it's you. It's me." Hanyu smiled. "Father-in-law, it's better not to transcend, lest you implicate Moon Spirit. It's better to disperse this seed. If you offend too many people, it's easy to die. After killing so many people in the 3 realms, they won't let it go. Even if Moon Spirit survives, she won't have a good ending." As soon as he finished speaking, the life star suddenly began to shatter. Hanyu looked down. Below seemed to be the source of immortals. He seemed to have seen Moon Spirit. With a gentle expression on his face, he smiled and said, "The moment the North Emperor blade returned, without the North Emperor's life imprint, I knew that he had given up on you and the past. Don't blame me for being ruthless. I just didn't want you to know that I was plotting against your father. Live on, even if you don't have power. Even if you don't have the three realms, live on. Living on might be more painful, but I still hope that you can live on. Hong Yu smiled. In the distance, Hong Kun roared. You useless thing. You useless thing. You actually did this for a woman. You are not fit to be my younger brother. You deserve to die, bastard. He was burning himself to shatter the life star. Hong Kun was furious. Big brother, my great Tao has always been controlled by the source of immortals. I don't have your opportunities, nor do I have your courage. Since I have always been controlled by others, then today, let me be free for once. Hong Yu laughed. Big brother, if you can live on, then live on well. As he spoke, his body began to dissipate, his power burning. The star shattered. It began to fly towards the other sky, where Hong Kun was. Big brother, I'll help you mend some cracks. I hope you can be free. He was also a top expert who had broken through 8. Now that he was burning himself and mixed in some of the power of the Life Star, there was hope that he could free Hong Kun. After all, Hong Kun had only just attained Tao. Scram, I don't need your help. Hong Kun was furious. He was distracted for a moment. The Divine Emperor was incomparably cold as he punched. With a bang, Hong Kun's body exploded, but he quickly recovered. The others blocked the Divine Emperor. Although they were not on the same side, the enemy was the Divine Emperor. No one wanted to see Hong Kun die. The Divine Emperor just needed to punch again, and Hong Kun would definitely die. Big brother, take care of the enemy. Hong Yu laughed heartily as he charged towards the 5th sky. That was where Hong Kun had attained Tao. Bastard, bastard. Hong Kun was furious. I don't need your help. I don't need it. Do you think I will remember your favor? Go and die yourself. Scram, I don't need it. Big brother, are you not going to be nice to me even at the last moment? Hong Yu chuckled. You have never liked me since you were young. You felt that father favored me more. You became King Kun, one of the 8 kings, the first heavenly king among the 2nd generation, but you still did not receive father's favor. You were jealous of me, but I was jealous of you too. Father liked to control me. I couldn't do this or that. He was even the one who helped me find a cultivation partner. Fortunately, I loved Moon Spirit. Father did a good thing for me. But Father let you choose whatever you want, while I could only walk the path he set. But I didn't know that I didn't like any of this. That year, Father told me that he might not be coming back. I was in despair and sad, but I also felt relieved. Father finally didn't have to be that mountain on my head anymore. I was afraid that if he continued to pressure me, he would drive me crazy. That year, the human emperor came to me and asked me to rebuild the Earth Emperor Divine Dynasty. I knew what he wanted to do. He wanted to lure Father out. Hong Yu smiled. Actually, I already knew then that Father loved you more. He was in the divine sect. You probably already knew that, didn't you? You are his only hope. And I am only the 2nd earthly emperor that he hopes to groom. This is not what I want. Big brother, when you see Father, help me say that I don't hate him. I just pity him. He thinks that he doesn't know that I understand, but I do. Didn't he tell me everything so that I could tell others? Hong Yu mocked. Father, he doesn't trust me. That's why he told me everything on purpose. Fine, I'll fulfill his wish. He really disappeared during the battle of the heavenly realm. He succeeded. It was my good son who told on him. Father should be satisfied, right? Hong Kun's face turned red as he roared. Father didn't plot against you. You're just overthinking things. Back then, big brother, it's all in the past, isn't it? Goodbye, big brother. Hong Yu smiled. At that moment, he looked down again. Someone looked up. Tears rolled down his cheeks. The 9th heaven. Moon Spirit looked up at the sky, at the illusory figure and the burning ball of light. She cried silently. Who was wrong in the 3 realms? Who was true and who was false in the 3 realms? The person I love still loves me, but I don't want to suffer the pain of losing him again. Hong Yu, a heart-wrenching cry rang out. You bastard! You abandoned me again. Do you want to do it again? It's been 8,000 years. 8,000 years. I don't want it to happen again. Tears rolled down his cheeks. I don't want it to happen again. I can't take it anymore after 8,000 years of pain. Boom! Emperor Donghuang, who was suppressing everyone in the ninth heaven, turned pale. At that moment, a great Tao started to crack above the source of immortality. Hongyu, wait for me. Together. The three realms are dark. I'm afraid of the dark. The three realms are dark. 8,000 years ago, it was bright. 8,000 years later, it was dark and filthy. I'm afraid of the dark, and I don't like this filth. Ling, or a murmur came from the source of the voice. Sigh. A sigh echoed throughout the three realms. In the next moment, a figure walked over from the sky. It was as if he had entered a deserted place and did not see Emperor Donghuang. With a casual punch, he shattered two great Tao above the source of immortality. Emperor Donghuang looked at the person and frowned slightly. The person looked at Emperor Donghuang and said with a faint smile, "How is it? Are you going to stop me? It's not a good time for you to show yourself now. I'm old. 8,000 years have smoothed out my temper and suppressed my desire for hegemony. I'm old, perhaps. I'm looking forward to having a house full of children and grandchildren, not hegemony over the three realms." The newcomer laughed and casually suppressed the moon spirit. Then he punched through the sky, causing it to split apart. The source of immortality was above the sky. He stepped into the source of immortality. He covered the sky with one hand. With a loud bang, the star that Hongyu was on, which had been burning a moment ago, was instantly extinguished. The person turned around and punched the North Emperor. "In-law, I'm in charge of my son. Your daughter is my family. You have crossed the line." Boom! The North Emperor wanted to retaliate, but he was not as fast as the person. The punch landed on his chest and pierced through it. He was sent flying. "It's been 8,000 years, and you're still so weak. You disappoint me." The person smiled faintly. In the next moment, he walked in the sky and said indifferently, "Qiong, isn't it good for everyone to be fine? Do you really think I'm dead after hurting my son?" "Father." Hong Kuan was stunned. The person did not look at him. He walked in the sky as if he was walking on flat ground, heading straight for the Emperor God. Sword! There was a loud boom. In the nine heavens, a long sword shot out from Moon Spirit's body. The earthly sovereign sword. Slash! Boom! The sky was torn and the world was split. This sword was like thunder and lightning, as if it could destroy the world. Kill! Pucci! The Emperor God retreated. A lock of his hair was cut off and a drop of blood dripped from his shoulder. The Emperor God turned his head and looked at the person with a solemn expression. "I thought you wouldn't come now. I had to." The person sighed. "Of my two sons, one wants to commit suicide and the other wants to be killed by you. I didn't want to come, but I had to. 8,000 years ago, I thought I was like Xian, that I could give up everything and focus on the Tao. 8,000 years later, I realized that time really made me old. I was really old. I'm no longer the earthly sovereign who fought against heaven and earth. I'm just a pitiful prisoner, a pitiful old man." That person's white hair fluttered in the wind. He looked around and sighed. "It's been 8,000 years. Sometimes I wonder if I should just give up and let that crack corrode my great Tao, destroy my true body, and extinguish my source. Maybe I should learn from Jean and walk more freely. But I don't have any grandchildren. I don't have a house full of them. Jean, this idiot, rejected me 8,000 years ago. Otherwise, I might have a house full of children and grandchildren by now. If I die, then so be it. But now, I'm still not satisfied." The newcomer laughed again and slashed down with his sword again. The sky fell and the earth cracked. "Jean, Ji, stay. The rest of you back off." The earthly sovereign chuckled and flattened the seventh heaven with one sword. His murderous intent shook the sky and was boundlessly domineering. The human sovereign laughed. "Brother Hong, you said you're retired, but you're still so domineering. Be careful that these new sovereigns think you're looking down on them." "Yes, I am." "What's wrong with that?" The earthly sovereign laughed. His long sword circled around the Emperor God like a swimming dragon. In the blink of an eye, he slashed out thousands of swords. The human sovereign sighed. The next moment, he smiled. King Wu, lend me your seal. The moment he finished speaking, a human sovereign seal shot out. Rumble! The human sovereign's seal smashed out. On the other side, Heavenly King Zhen slashed out. The Emperor God's face turned solemn. He was even more solemn than when he faced the 9 sovereigns. The earthly sovereign, the human sovereign, and Heavenly King Zhen, the 3 top powerhouses. They were second only to their level. When the 3 joined forces, the threat was countless times greater than the others. The earthly sovereign finally appeared. Chapter 1440. The Emperor of Earth had appeared. As soon as he appeared, he injured the North Emperor and fought the Emperor of Earth, the most overbearing emperor of the past, the most unruly emperor. Everyone was talking about how overbearing and unruly the Emperor of Earth was. He was the only emperor among the 9 emperors who was besieged and killed once. He revived again, hiding in the dark and plotting against the 3 realms. Cunning and unruly. That was everyone's impression of the Emperor of Earth. But today, the Emperor of Earth overturned everything. Ordinary like an old man next door. Maybe he was really old, but he was still overbearing. He didn't care about being old. He didn't need to fight for hegemony. But he was still so overbearing. Qiao, you're old too. The 3 realms is no longer ours. The Emperor of Earth laughed. Thousands of swords swept through the void, sword rays piercing through the world. The Emperor of God's expression was solemn. He said indifferently, Old? The 3 realms is ours. It has always been. Since the beginning of martial arts, the 3 realms has been ours. Banishing wild beasts, spreading civilization, spreading martial arts, opening the path of origin, resisting the corrosion of the sea of bitterness. As the God Emperor spoke, he bellowed, the 3 realms? Why isn't it our 3 realms? I, Qiong, forged the 3 realms civilization and ushered in a prosperous era. Why is the 3 realms not ours? Why is it not? Why should I suffer the pain of being imprisoned for 10,000 years? Why? The Emperor of God roared. I am not satisfied. 30,000 years ago, I did not let anyone down. I did not let down the 3 realms. I did not let down the world. The Emperor of God questioned angrily and roared. Tell me why? Fong Ping, Zhang Tao, let me ask you. You saved the human race from disaster, but the world imprisons you and makes you prisoners for tens of thousands of years. Are you satisfied? Are you satisfied? Are you heroes? Are you the saviors? No, you can only be prisoners. The Emperor of God roared. I, Qiong, was a hot-blooded man in the past. I also wanted to create a glorious era. But why should I suffer the pain of being imprisoned? Why? Beside him, King Wu said coldly, You contributed to the 3 realms, but that was 10,000 years ago. But now, you are a sinner. Your merits and demerits do not offset each other. 10,000 years ago, Zhan Tian d'Arch asked you to return your power to the origin. That day, bullshit. The Divine Emperor was furious and punched the human emperor back. Return power to the source? The Divine Emperor bellowed. I've been cultivating for 30,000 years. 30,000 years dedicated to the path of martial arts. Giving up love, giving up hate, giving up glory and wealth, giving up everything. All his life, he had only been devoted to martial arts. You want me to give up? For example, if I ask you to give up on the human race right now, would you be willing? Do you agree? Zhan is not a martial artist. He is just a scholar. He is devoted to the mountains of books and the seas of literature. I'm not. What he said was simple. I just need to give up on power. Power is my life's pursuit. You want me to give it up? The Divine Emperor roared. Who would be willing? Who would be willing? You have your pursuits, and I have mine. I have dedicated my entire life to martial arts. How could I be willing to give up my strength at that time? Everyone said that the 9 emperors were selfish. But what about fighting? He's not selfish. He didn't care about strength. He didn't care about martial arts, but did it mean that others didn't care? Therefore, he deserved to die in battle. Don't do to others what you don't want done to yourself. What right did Jean have to make decisions for them? He was not qualified. The martial king was speechless. He was speechless and unable to refute. The three realms in heaven and earth really could not tell right from wrong. The divine emperor pursued the pinnacle of power all his life. He preached everywhere. He created the heavenly court. He suppressed the three realms. He created a golden age. Was he wrong? He just did not want to give up his power, because this was his sustenance. If the divine emperor was wrong, it might be that he was now a maniac. In order to escape, he was a maniac who would do anything. 10,000 years ago, Jean asked him to give up his power, but he refused. This was not wrong. The martial king said no more. People with different paths could not make plans together. Sometimes it was hard to distinguish right from wrong. Today, the powerhouses who were fighting were all right. They were all fighting. If he was wrong, it might be that this path was not perfect enough. The divine emperor went crazy. His power shook the surroundings. For figures moved and flickered in the void, fighting continuously. The aftermath shook the three realms. In front, Fong Ping continued to break through heaven and earth. He wanted to find the celestial emperor. Why did he want to find the celestial emperor? Even Fong Ping himself could not explain it. He was angry. He hated celestial emperor, the powerhouse who created the path of origin. No matter what his original intention was, in the end, celestial emperor could not shirk the responsibility. Behind him, the celestial emperor was not in a hurry to make a move. He followed Fong Ping. He seemed to know that Fong Ping was going to see the celestial emperor. He seemed to want to go as well. He was following Fong Ping because he wanted to see the celestial emperor. Behind them, Spirit Empress came. She wanted to go as well. North King, on the other hand, laughed like a madman. He laughed so hard that he did not know why. The plan was ruined. He could not get rid of this cage. Heaven has no eyes. North King cried to the sky. Heaven has no eyes. Everything is gone. Do I still have to suffer the pain of being imprisoned for 10,000 years? The origin, the joys and sorrows. This place was filled with the unwillingness and resentment of so many people. 30,000 years ago, the Great Path was created. Since then, martial arts have been filled with blood and tears. The ninth heaven. East King looked at the outer area of the catacombs. Countless people were struggling, crying, cursing. He was in a trance. The three realms had really changed. 40,000 years ago, the world was created and humans appeared. There were ancient beasts in the world that devoured humans. Everyone was afraid of them. They could not sleep at night and could not go out during the day. When the beasts came, every family cried. There would definitely be humans buried in the beasts' stomachs. East King seemed to be talking to himself. He sighed softly. It was too difficult at that time. At that time, there were people who were unwilling and stood up to kill demons and beasts. How could humans defeat the beasts? Under the countless deaths and injuries, there were amazing people who created martial arts. It was called beginner martial. The leader of heaven, the celestial emperor, created martial arts. He killed the beasts in the beginner martial land. He strengthened the heaven division and expanded the territory. The celestial emperor lived in the middle. Sun God rose in the northern plains. He ate the meat of the beasts and drank their blood to strengthen himself. He led the Yang division to expand the territory and created the seed of civilization. In the west, the leader of the Sky division fought the beasts at the peak of the West Mountain. He killed the leader of the beasts and chased them away, taking root in the west. In the south, the leader of the Do division, Do, killed 800 beasts in a day. The beasts did not dare to invade their territory. The Do division could rest and build up their strength. The fire of civilization was ignited on the beginner martial land. Dong Fong. How they were not as amazing as the others, but they also walked on the martial path. They killed the beasts that invaded their territory and protected the tribe. At the same time, Dark Fist, Blade God, Sword God, many beginner martial experts rose in the beginner martial land. They killed the beasts, protected the tribe, sowed the seed of civilization, ignited the fire of civilization. East King muttered to himself. He recounted the scenes of the past. They met later on. Excited, excited. My Tao is not alone. So, on this continent, there were so many people with the same Tao. So, everyone was fighting back. So, they did not hold back. They explained their own Tao, their own martial Tao, their own experiences. They wanted to make all the humans in the world stronger. They wanted to fight against the beasts. They wanted the fire of humanity to ignite this continent. They were like brothers, like little brothers, like family, like brothers. Year after year, day after day, everyone's efforts and hearts were focused on the same goal. After who knows how many years, when we reunited, we suddenly discovered that there were fewer desolate beasts in the world. The human race became the only rulers of the world. East King chuckled. At that time, everyone was excited. We had succeeded. We had won. Although we paid a great price and lost countless comrades, including some old friends who died fighting against the desolate beasts, we still won. We won the war between the races and became the rulers of the three realms. Of course, there was no such thing as the three realms back then. Everyone listened in silence. They did not know what East King was thinking, but since East King was willing to speak, they were willing to listen. It was fine as long as East King did not participate in the battle for the origin lands. East King continued. Time passed. On this continent, there were more and more martial artists and experts. The strong enemies were gone. The first generation of experts suddenly felt lost. East King laughed. Can you understand that kind of loss? There was no pursuit, no goal, no enemy. It was empty. At that time, Qiong and the others stood out. At that time, there was a lot of killing among the martial artists. Everyone had strength, but nowhere to use it. They were very lost. Qiong and the others stood out and told everyone that they could pursue a better martial Tao and greater strength. Everyone could study the martial Tao together, discuss the Tao together, and walk further together. Let the entire human race evolve and become experts. East King laughed. At that time, the experts were still very naive, very, very naive. You might think it was inconceivable, but we all believed it. We all pursued a higher level of evolution. Not only that, there was less killing and less fighting. We studied the martial Tao together, sparred together, and went to the edge of the continent together to find the desolate beasts that had been chased away. We killed the desolate beasts and drank their blood. However, time is the most murderous thing, East King murmured. After who knows how many more years, some old friends died. At that time, some people began to pursue immortality. Some married and had children, but their children discovered that they were not suited for martial arts, so they began to fight for power. They wanted to be above everyone else, the Lord of 10,000, the Lord of 1,000,000. From then on, the three realms became different. Those who pursued immortality pursued immortality. Those who pursued power pursued power. But all of this could not escape the word power. With power, you could live longer. With power, you had more authority, and it was easier for you to seize other people's territories. Thus, the martial Tao was divided into high and low, and power was divided into strong and weak. Between heaven and earth, there were martial Tao ranks, and the strong and the weak. East King laughed. At that time, us beginners also had our differences. Some people began to pursue the true meaning of power, and it was also at that time that they discovered the seed. East King's eyes revealed a hint of fanaticism. At that time, everyone reached a limit and realized that they could no longer go any further. At this time, an incomparably strong power suddenly spread out. Everyone became fanatical and went to find the source of that power. That time, when we discovered the seed, we were shocked. What kind of power was this? It was too strong compared to the seed. What were we? How could a candle compete with the sun and moon? At that moment, some people were tempted. Those without the heart wanted to absorb a bit of the seed's power. Those with the heart wanted to find the seed and continue to absorb its power. Those with great ambitions wanted to devour the seed. You know, power can make people crazy, but it can also make people lose themselves. From then on, Everyone knew that we had only walked a short distance, that we had not grasped the true meaning of power. Thus, the group split up. Some people are searching for the seeds in the direction where they disappeared. Some people are wandering around the Chu Wu continent in search of new sources of power. Some people are thinking of unifying the continent and gathering the power of the continent to find a higher power. After an unknown number of years, heaven and earth roared, and the Chu Wu continent shook. That day, the Sky King found a new direction of martial Tao, the Tao of Source. East King exclaimed, "You don't understand." At that time, it was a miracle, unbelievable. The new martial Tao was completely different from the beginner's Tao, a completely different Tao. The Sky King was wild with joy. So, besides the seed, there were other Taos, other paths of martial Tao, and the road was very long. Thus, from that day on, the Tao of Source became a new direction. Cheong Do. Many people went to find the Sky King, asking him how to walk this path, how to become stronger. At that time, the Sky King said that the path was not clear, not perfect, and that he should take a look. But we were impatient. You have to know, at that time, although everyone had different opinions and thoughts, sharing martial Tao was still an unspoken rule that everyone tacitly agreed on. The Sky King walked along the Tao of Source for a period of time. After breaking the Tao of Source, he found that he was much stronger, so he felt that there might be no problem with this path. In fact, even if there was, no one understood or knew that this was a completely unfamiliar path. So, the Sky King began to preach in the three realms. Those who succeed are teachers. Although the Sky King who opened up a new path was of the same generation as us, he was a pioneer, so he was the teacher. At this time, East King suddenly shook his head and sighed, but someone also discovered this path. Sun God. Sun God might have discovered this path at the same time as the Sky King, but he was different from the Sky King. The Sky King absorbed the Tao of Source, broke it, and escaped. As for the Sun God, he was a step slower. He found that after the Sky King left, there was still a large amount of power left in the Tao of Source. Thus, he began to cultivate over there, absorbing countless amounts of energy. He also became stronger, much stronger. Everyone was in a trance, as if they had returned to the past. The Sky King and the Sun God might have discovered the great Tao of Source together. The Sky King took the traditional Tao of Source today, broke the Tao of Source, and escaped. As for the Sun God, it was a step too late, so it could only start to absorb the remaining power where it was. East King continued. After absorbing the power, the Sun God didn't care so much and left contentedly. Anyway, he was strong, so he didn't care about his origin. East King smiled and said, "It's not his fault." He didn't understand why he didn't absorb the power. The Sky King ran away with the power. The Sun God ran away with the power. And the origin still has power. At this time, the Sky King was still preaching, but gradually, something went wrong. East King's expression changed. At first, there was actually no problem, but soon some big problems appeared. When the beginner martial artists cultivated the Tao of Source, there was actually a violent rejection. Some people even cultivated the Tao of Source, causing their bodies to explode and die directly. At this time, someone began to reprimand the Sky King. Did he lead everyone to a fork in the road? Why was there such a strong rejection? It was also at that time that there was a prelude to the battle of the myriad Taos. East King smiled bitterly and said, the Sky King didn't think there was a problem with him. He did obtain power himself. This is not fake. Not only the Sky King, but the martial artists who walked the great Tao in advance also obtained power, such as Cheong and me. We obtained power, and there was no rejection. How could it be fake? But the rejection does exist, and it is getting more and more serious. Including me and Cheong, there were some problems. Our bodies began to weaken, our mental power began to weaken, but the amplification of the Tao of Source became stronger and stronger, and the power we could use also became stronger and stronger. The Sky King also noticed something strange. He felt that there might be some problems with the Tao of Source. He also advised us that there might be some problems with the Tao of Source. If we didn't want to walk, we could give up and wait for him to perfect it. But at that time, we couldn't stop. East King became even more bitter. We couldn't stop. Our bodies were still weakening, and the battle of the myriad Taos was getting more and more intense. It was not only the battle between the Tao of Source and initial martial, but also the spiritual sense and physical body. In any case, all kinds of conflicts erupted at that time. We couldn't stop. If we did, it might be even more troublesome. After that, the battle of the myriad Taos erupted. East King sighed and said, "It erupted just like that." The eruption was somewhat unexpected. On one hand, the battle for power in the first martial continent reached its peak, and on the other hand, the Tao of Source was also the fuse. In addition to the accumulation of some emotions, in a small battle, the teachers of both sides kept appearing, calling for friends, and finally a war erupted in the three realms. After 10,000 years, there are naturally still grudges, slaughter, blood, violence. It stimulated everyone. East King smiled and said, "At that time, the war engulfed the entire first martial continent. Everyone was involved, including us, and at that time, another problem appeared in the Tao of Source." Wang Jinyang raised his eyebrows and said, "Tao severing." "Yes." East King smiled and said, "Tao severing." The great Tao was actually broken. This was not done by the Celestial the Arch. He was also surprised, and soon he discovered some clues, as if a part of his power was missing. Everyone was surprised for a while, and the next moment, someone said faintly, "Sun God?" "Yes, Sun God." East King smiled bitterly and said, "Sun God absorbed a large amount of power, causing the great Tao to be broken, and we could not move forward." It was not the Celestial Thearch's warning. In fact, at that time, the Celestial Thearch did not expect such a big problem to occur later. It was that Sun God guy. After absorbing the power, he ran to chase after the seed. That bastard. He did not think about this at all. In fact, he did not expect this to happen either. The great Tao was broken, and our bodies were still weakening. If we did not continue, what will we do next? "So you killed the other first martial saints?" East King shook his head. "If I said it was an accident, you might not believe me, but it was indeed so. Cheong fought with the martial god, but he did not kill the martial god. He defeated the martial god, and as a result, the martial god's power dissipated and was inadvertently absorbed by him. He proved his Tao." Hearing these words, everyone thought for a moment and suddenly came to a realization. In the records, the Divine Emperor defeated the martial god. East King killed the sword god, and the human emperor killed the saber god. It seemed that the Divine Emperor did not kill the martial god. East King was a little sad. Cheong proved his Tao and absorbed the martial god's power. The great Tao was rooted in the ground, and he actually proved his Tao. All of a sudden, he became the top expert of the three realms. We felt this way, as if we had found a way to prove our Tao. But then, the martial god suddenly died. Yes, too much power had been lost, and he was old. Without power, he suddenly died of old age. Now, the three realms went crazy. The Origin had to kill the first martial saints to prove his Tao. Cheong proving his Tao already frightened many people, and now he had to kill people to prove his Tao. Those old friends of his went crazy and wanted to destroy the Origin. The Origin was the root of all trouble. So I, the killing sword god, proved my Tao. From then on, things got out of hand, and a great war broke out. The struggle of the Taos reached a peak, and countless experts fell. This was the history of the first martial saints. It was the story of someone who had personally experienced it. East King, the second Origin Emperor in the world, was telling the crowd this heartwarming and bloody history of the first martial saints. There were first martial saints in the crowd. The god of the underworld said coldly, "How? Why glorify yourself? If Cheong Sha's death was an accident, then you killed the sword god on purpose to strengthen yourself. You've been friends for many years, and the martial god and Cheong's death was an accident. You wanted to become stronger, so you killed him and devoured him. At that time, You had already changed. You were unwilling, because Qiong became stronger, Yang became stronger, and heaven became stronger. Only you took the wrong path, and you couldn't turn back. You became weaker and weaker, and soon you would be weaker than those who came later. So, you plotted to kill the sword god to help yourself. Do you dare to say that you didn't? East King looked at him and smiled. Underworld, this is what you people think. That's why the War of the 10,000 Daos erupted. If I said no, you probably wouldn't believe me. But that's the truth. The sword god and I didn't want to kill each other at first. But in the end, we lost control of ourselves, and that's what happened. After that, no one listened to my explanation. No matter what I said, you wouldn't believe me. The god of the underworld snorted coldly. Explain? The martial god's death had already alarmed everyone. Who would believe that East King had killed the sword god? At that time, all the first martial saints went crazy. 2 invincible experts had died one after another, and the 2 from the origin lineage had become even stronger. Who would believe them? So, the War of the 10,000 Daos erupted. The first martial saint versus the origin lineage. All the warriors who cultivated the origin lineage became the target of everyone. Massacres occurred on the first martial saint continent, the origin lineage. Some people wanted to protect themselves, some wanted to become stronger, and some wanted to become the third emperor. So, the war that lasted for thousands of years played out on this continent. The continent collapsed, the world sank, and the 3 realms opened. Only when the 9 emperors confirmed their Tao and completely suppressed the origin lineage and established the heavenly court did the war end. The first martial saint continent officially ended. This was the first martial saint continent. This was the 10,000 years of evolution since the beginning of the world. The beginning was warm, and the end was bloody. Chapter 1441. The beginning of martial arts was over, and the origin was opened. The origin, the root of darkness. Dong Wang chuckled. Yes, the source of darkness. Turmoil, chaos, schemes, destruction, everything came from the origin. 30,000 years of origin inheritance, 30,000 years of bitter history. Wang Jinyang frowned as he did not hear about the origin's history. Then why did it become like this? Did the origin's flaws appear at that time? It wasn't serious in the beginning, but it started to get serious 10,000 years ago. Dong Wang sneered. You can blame us if you want, but blame the celestial arch and the sun god. Dong Wang said coldly. The celestial arch discovered the problem and kept saying it wasn't serious. He spent 20,000 years at the origin, but to no avail. The sun god seized a portion of the power, making the origin imperfect. He was asked to return it, but he was unwilling. The problem is getting worse. It's so serious that we can't give up. What a joke. Give up? Dong Wang sneered. Ask Ming if the beginning of martial arts will kill us if we give up our power. Ask the descendants of the martial god and the sword god if they will kill us. Ask them if they are willing to return to the beginning again. Jean. He's talented but naive. Dong Wang said coldly. He's too naive. Naive was all the emperor's evaluation of Jean. Jean was very strong, and his talent was very strong. Everyone agreed on this point. Otherwise, why would the 3 emperors accept him as a disciple? At that time, the emperors would have proven their Tao. The 9 emperors were the most noble in the world. 3 of them had accepted him as a disciple. How terrifying was that? Jean actually persuaded them to give up their power. At that time, Jean had to die. Jean was strong and persistent. He felt that this was the most suitable thing to do. He would persevere. If he did not persevere enough, he would not reach that point. But how could the emperors be willing? That was suicide. As for what Jean said, he would protect the 9 emperors. What a joke. Who would entrust their lives to others? Jean's suggestion doomed him to death. Otherwise, the 9 emperors would not be at ease. The monster emperor said coldly, since the sun god absorbed some power and caused the origin to be imperfect, why would there be chaos after killing the sun god? He was also a beginning martial expert and had fought with the beast emperor. However, he did not understand some of the inside stories. For example, the sun god absorbed a large amount of energy and left. Him? Emperor Dong Huang said faintly. He was one of the main culprits, but the problems in the later stages were not entirely his fault. The 9 emperors were all growing stronger, and by that time, the problem with their origin had become even more serious. The fact that more and more people in the 3 realms were cultivating the quintessence was also a problem. At that point, the Yang God is no longer the key. The Yang God, the 9 emperors, and the martial artists of the 3 realm source are all the main culprits. They are all dead and no longer cultivate. Only by destroying the source can we solve the problem of the source. Just as Dong Huang was speaking, someone faintly said, "Don't say that I caused it. I didn't expect that either. Furthermore, if it wasn't for the fact that I absorbed the energy and prevented people from becoming emperors, there might have been a huge problem." The 9 emperors were still fine, but once the 99 emperors appeared, they would all absorb energy without limit. Look, the problem with the origin has long since erupted, and it's completely irremediable. Do you really think it's my fault? Nonsense, I did save the 3 realms. Without me, the 3 realms would have been destroyed about 20 to 30,000 years ago. Would there still be any of you? Dong Huang snorted, but he did not refute. If the path of the origin was easy and everyone could become emperors, what would the situation be like now? It would probably have collapsed long ago. The source collapsed, the origin collapsed, and the martial artists of the 3 realm source were all annihilated. The Yang God quibbled that he saved the 3 realms. It could not be said that it was all sophistry, but there was some truth in it. At this moment, Wang Jinyang suddenly said, "Then now, if the emperors give up their power, and the Yang God and the Celestial Emperor return their power, can the loopholes in the origin be repaired?" Dong Huang said lightly, "Maybe there's hope, but at this point, do you think it's possible?" Dong Huang said coldly, "It's impossible. After so many years, how many blood debts have the emperors created? Do you think anyone will let us go? No. Ask Fong Ping. Ask those people in the 3 realms. Are they willing? Even if they're willing, we are not." Dong Huang said calmly. As Chiong said, "We have been trapped for tens of thousands of years and have been prisoners for tens of thousands of years, but we are unwilling to die. Why? Just to give up everything and wait for your forgiveness? Why?" The Yang God said faintly again, "If they give up, there will still be people who will go to the origin. This chaos will continue to repeat again and again. Reincarnation, tens of thousands of years later. There will be another reincarnation. When that time comes, you will be the ones who will be slaughtered. The new emperors will replace the old emperors, again and again. The 3 realms will be destroyed sooner or later." The seed. The Yang God laughed and said, "Only the seed can save all of this. Completely repair the loopholes in the origin, so that there are no more flaws in the origin. What a pity, what a pity. The seed has its own intelligence, and it is also unwilling. Tell me, how can this be fixed?" The Yang God laughed and said, "There's no way to fix it. The seed is also involved, so there's no other way. Things are getting more and more chaotic. Now that things have come to this, we can only turn everything upside down and sort out everything." Wang Jinyang shouted, "Do you have to do this? If the killing continues, the 3 realms will be completely destroyed, and it will not end well. Do you have to choose this way? Since the seed can solve the problem, then find the seed. It is not necessary to exterminate the human race. The Emperor knows. Qin Fengqing knows. They know where the seed is. Your Yang God, don't you know where the seed is?" "So what if I know?" The Yang God said faintly, "The seed has wisdom. Let's put it this way. The wisdom of the 3 realms was its wisdom. It also had 7 emotions and 6 desires. It didn't want to be a prisoner. Why should it be a perpetual motion machine? Therefore, it also wanted to struggle. It also wanted to dispel everyone's thoughts. Do you know why you have to slaughter the entire human race in order for the seeds to appear? Because your intelligence is its intelligence. If you go extinct, it will become a newborn fetus. It will become a fool, so of course it will be easy to deal with. Therefore, he had to slaughter the human race. So, even though it knows that slaughtering humans will affect it, it's still overflowing with energy because without humans, it has no intelligence. Wang Jinyang frowned. So that's how it is. The human race and the seeds were closely related. If the human race was wiped out, the seeds would lose their intelligence. At that time, they would have to be perpetual motion machines. But with the seed of wisdom, how could he be willing to be a prisoner? This was a paradox, contradiction. He wanted to exterminate the human race and capture the seeds. If he didn't exterminate the human race and capture the seeds would not be willing to surrender. In this way, the flaw in the origin could not be solved. At this point, everything returned to the original state. Wang Jinyang was speechless. But could killing like this solve the problem? A temporary solution might be possible. They could kill the emperor, or the emperor would kill them, destroy the three realms, and fill the hole in the source land. If they destroyed the human race and found the seeds, they might be able to solve the problem completely. But could the human race agree? It was impossible. Seeing this, Dong Huang said indifferently, "So, this is an irreconcilable contradiction. The best way, the way to solve it once and for all, is to exterminate the human race now, find the seeds, and fill the hole. But, do you agree? Since you don't agree, then there will be no lack of war. And if you kill us..." In fact, the contradiction still cannot be resolved. Tens of thousands of years later, this scene will repeat itself. If I say now that for the three realms, the human race will be exterminated, will you agree? Wang Jinyang, whether you fight or Wang Jinyang, it's not that no one has considered what you said. It's just that it won't work. Dong Wang chuckled. So, the 9 emperors decided to let the humans become emperors first, fill their hole, and escape. Then, we'll think of a way to solve this problem. Exterminate the human race. Destroy the seed's consciousness. In short, let the 9 emperors escape first. That's how the current situation is, the people of the 3 realms becoming emperors, and the old emperors escaping. Wang Jinyang was silent. At this moment, everyone in the 3 realms was speechless. In the end, it seemed like everything would be resolved through battle. No one would give in. Whoever gave in would die. This was no longer a simple battle of martial power, but a battle of martial Tao. Everyone carried many things on their backs. At this time, the underworld god frowned. What about the ash? Can the ash make up for these flaws? It can't. Dong Wang sighed. The ash is an unexpected product, but if it can make up for the holes, perhaps it will consume much less energy. It can even be used as a substitute for the seeds. What do you mean? Dong Wang smiled. It's simple. The ash will continue to cultivate in the source, consolidate the great Tao, consolidate the origin, and rely on its own strength to suppress the origin. Of course, it's best if someone cooperates. The ash will consolidate the origin and the great Tao, and another person will suppress the chaos of the ash's origin. Dong Wang chuckled. This person needs to be very strong, or not just one person, but several people. Dong Wang said meaningfully, if the sun god and the celestial arch are willing, they can actually solve many problems. Gather all the flaws of the source into the ash. Let the celestial arch and the sun god enter its origin and suppress the flaws. This way, there's no need for seeds. A new way. The underworld god did not expect that Dong Wang would give a new way just by asking. The ash will absorb the flaws of the origin. The sun god and the celestial arch will suppress it. This way, they can also create a small perpetual motion machine that can solve the chaos of the source. Of course, the ash's power is limited, and so is the sun god and the others. It's fine now, but in a few years, if more emperors are born, they may not be able to suppress it. Dong Wang smiled. The ash and the 2 of them are the second choice. The seed is the first choice. The third choice is to kill the current powerhouses and return to the beginning. The fourth choice is for the new emperor to replace the old emperor and continue to suppress the source. Let the old emperor go out and roam for 10,000 years and then switch to suppress it. The fifth choice is for the new emperor to kill the old emperor and fill in the flaws. After tens of thousands of years, everything will be repeated. Dongwang gave many choices in one breath. However, the first choice was the seed, and that was to destroy the human race. The second choice required the ash, the celestial arch, and the sun god to be imprisoned forever. The next one was the current one. They would either fight and perish together, or one side would be wiped out. Everyone had a myriad of thoughts in their minds. In that case, the easiest choice was still the second choice, but would the sun god and the celestial arch be willing? Would the ash be willing? Would Fang Ping agree? Things had once again fallen into a quagmire. Wang Jinyang's eyes flickered, and he suddenly said, "The sun god has not appeared for so many years. What is it doing? Is there no way at all?" In the void, the sun god laughed and said, "I'm thinking of a way. The first time, I tried to recreate the three realms. In the end, that old thing, the celestial arch, thought that I had seized the power of the source and insisted on making trouble. He blew it up for me. I realized that it really didn't work, so I gave up. The second time, I went to discuss with the seed and let it be a perpetual motion machine. It didn't agree and wanted to kill me. In a fit of anger, I fought with it. It was very strong, but I couldn't beat it. I've been recuperating for many years. The third time, I'm experimenting. I'm experimenting to see if there is a new path that can replace the origin path and stop everyone from taking the origin path. This path is not reliable. Unfortunately, no new path has appeared yet. If it wasn't for me, would the human world have come this far?" The sun god laughed and said, "Moreover, it's not possible to not take the origin path. If we really don't, the origin path will be exhausted, and the 9 emperors will be finished. There's no other way. The celestial arch and the 9 emperors won't agree. I'm in a difficult position. Therefore, I can only take it one step at a time. Hasn't 8,000 years passed just like that?" The sun god laughed again and said, "The celestial arch is actually thinking of a way. Look, isn't the immortal source the way? Gather the origin path of the 3 realms and fill it in at once. First, let them get out of trouble, then destroy the human world. When the seed has no intelligence, then fill it in. To be honest, I think this method might be the most reliable." This was the truth. The sun god also felt that the celestial thearch's plan was actually not bad. Fill in the powerhouses of the 3 realms, not all of them, just a portion. Then destroy the human race and fill in the seed. There would be no hidden dangers in the origin. There were still people in the 3 realms, such as those in the catacombs. After a few years, the new humans that appeared might not necessarily provide the seed with intelligence. The plan was not bad. If not, the 9 emperors would not have agreed. Of course, it was not like this at first, but everyone knew that it was like this. This was the way to solve the problem once and for all. However, if you want to strengthen the immortal source so that the human martial artists have enough strength to fill the origin path, you have to bear the possibility of powerhouses appearing in the human race. Thus, King Wu and the others came into being. This was also a way for the seed to save itself. The seed was also causing trouble. This was the reason why the powerhouses of the 3 realms charged into the origin path and did not want to be schemed against by the celestial arch and the 9 emperors. Things seemed to have entered a dead end again. Unbreakable. There was no way to break this situation. In the origin path, the celestial arch seemed to have heard this. In fact, the voices of Dongwang and the sun god were also transmitted to the origin path. At this moment, the celestial arch also said with a complicated look, "Fang Ping, actually, the best way is to let the cat, the celestial arch, and the sun god suppress it." In the distance, the cat did not care about the North Emperor anymore. It turned its head and looked into the distance. It looked confused. The cat could use the trash can to absorb the disaster of the origin path, find the 2 strongest powerhouses to suppress it, and create a small perpetual motion machine. Even if it could not completely solve the problem, it could still make the 3 realms peaceful for countless years. However, at this time, the sun god laughed and said, "It doesn't have to be me and the celestial arch. For example, the 9 emperors can also come. If the 9 emperors can't come, It can also work with you new emperors. The key is, do you agree? Actually, this old man isn't too happy about it. This imprisonment means that I'll die. Is the celestial the arch willing? Old man, tell me, are you willing? Human nature was selfish. The sun god was not willing. What about the celestial the arch? He would not be willing either. Would Fong Ping and the others, plus the 9 emperors, be willing to suppress it? Probably not either. Fong Ping's expression changed. He said coldly, then kill the 9 emperors and 1 emperor and make do for a while. The sun god said faintly, after killing the 9 emperors and 1 emperor, do you want to kill me and the celestial the arch and make do for a while? Not a bad choice. Fong Ping said coldly, anyway, I've lived long enough, haven't I? But I haven't lived long enough. The sun god sighed and said, Fong Ping, why don't you suffer a little? I'm serious. If you die and 30% of the human race die, the seed will probably lose its consciousness. We can solve this problem once and for all. Senior sun god, are you going to slaughter the human race? I'm just saying. The sun god laughed and said, don't count me in. To be honest, the chaos in the source has nothing to do with me. I didn't dig into the source, and I didn't even go to the source. Actually, it has nothing to do with me. Unless you really destroy the 3 realms, I'm actually the freest. I'm thinking about you. At most, I'll return the power that I absorbed back then. Among the powerhouses of the 3 realms, the sun god was the freest. The others were either trapped in the source, trapped in the immortal source, or the targets of the 9 emperors. After thinking about it, it was the bastard sun god who had transcended. He wanted to solve the problem of the source now, because if the source continued to be chaotic, it might lead to the complete destruction of the 3 realms. At that time, even if he was a beginner, he would still be in big trouble. At this moment, the heavenly King Jin could not help but curse, old man, if you hadn't absorbed the power of the source back then, there might not have been a problem. Aren't you stirring shit up? The sun god said innocently, nonsense. Let me ask you, if I throw 100 star stones in front of you now, do you want them? Do you absorb them or not? After absorbing them, you tell me that you don't want this power? Bullsh asterisk T. How would I know that I can't absorb the power of the source? You have to blame the celestial the arch. This old man discovered this thing for no reason. I'm very innocent. I can't do anything about it. Also, if he didn't break this star back, then maybe he would have been fine. I've always wondered if there was a problem because he broke the star. As soon as he said this, someone in the void said softly, Yang, now that things have come to this, there's no point in saying this. Back then, I never thought that after breaking the source, such a situation would happen. I've also learned my lesson. What lesson? Suppressing the source for tens of thousands of years. The strongest expert in the world had disappeared from the 3 realms for a full 30,000 years. Even if he appeared, it would be a glimpse. The celestial arch was also bearing the consequences. As the celestial arch spoke, he sighed and said, Everyone, do you really want to destroy the 3 realms today? If we continue fighting, the 3 realms will be destroyed. Everyone will die, including me, including the sun god. If the 3 realms are destroyed, the seed will lose its consciousness and no one will control it. If the 3 realms are rebuilt, Qiong, you won't be able to live alone. Don't think that you and I can still live if the source is destroyed. Digging into the source is entrusting your life to the source. The sun god smiled and said, That's hard to say. You're dead for sure, but I won't necessarily die. When the time comes, I'll control the seed, fill this pit, and rebuild the 3 realms. I'll be the god of creation. Don't say, what a good idea. The sun god laughed and said, Everyone, speaking of which, this is indeed a good idea. Don't worry, I'll rebuild the 3 realms. This time, there won't be any problems. The celestial arch, that idiot has harmed the 3 realms for so many years. I've learned my lesson. This time, I'll definitely pay attention. The sun god might not die. He would rebuild the 3 realms. You? The celestial arch said softly, If the source is destroyed, the power you absorb from the source will also backfire on you. How much you absorb back, then, is how much you will suffer. Even if you return it, can you really pay it back now? That doesn't mean I'll die. The three realms will be destroyed, and the sea of bitterness will devour you. Can you withstand the devouring of the sea of bitterness? It's hard to say. Even if you survive the sea of bitterness, can you still control the seed? The seed recreates the three realms and creates the world. Can you still survive? It's hard to say, but I think I can. Even if you can, it may take tens of thousands of years for the birth of life in the three realms to be reopened. After hundreds of thousands of years, you will die of old age. Are you really willing to live alone for tens of thousands of years and wait for death to come? The sun god was suddenly speechless and said angrily, I'm willing. It's fine if I'm alone. Being alone is also good. I can play alone too. The celestial arch chuckled and soon sighed again. Everyone, let's stop fighting. Stop fighting? The divine emperor shouted angrily and sent the human emperor flying with a punch. He shouted angrily, how can we stop fighting now? Sooner or later, we still have to fight to the death. You've been suppressing the source for so many years. What have you achieved? Do you think I don't know what you're thinking? Do you really think I don't know that you want to cast the source again and seal all of us in the source? Song Mao accepts filth, and the 9 emperors suppress the whole. Isn't this part of your plan? Have you succeeded in all these years? Maybe soon. Stop fighting. Will I give you time? Give you time to absorb the immortal source into the source? Celestial the Arch, do you really think all the people in the world are idiots and can be schemed by you? You and the sun are singing the same tune. Do you really think I can't see through it? The divine emperor shouted coldly. Fong Ping, do you really think the sun is a good person? Suppressing the human world is the sun's intention to strengthen the immortal source, so that the immortal source has enough power to help the celestial the arch escape, suppress us, and cast the source again. The fate of the human race has long been decided. The sun and the celestial the arch want to destroy you. We want it too, but they want more, and our lives, including yours. Fong Ping's face was cold, and he sneered. I know. I knew a long time ago that you old antiques. Which one of you really cares about the human race? Including myself. Do I really care about the human race? I just can't accept being used as a pawn, as a sacrifice. The day the realm wall breaks, it must be the day the immortal source matures. Today, the situation of the three realms is generally clear. That's good. Fortunately, I came in advance. Otherwise, if that day comes, there might really be no chance. At this moment, the layout of the three realms was completely clear. Exterminate the human race. This was the consensus of the old antiques. Because the success rate was the highest and the effect was the best. The human race and the seed were linked. But would Fong Ping agree? Of course not. Besiege the North Emperor. Besiege the Beast Emperor. Fong Ping bellowed. On the other side, Old Zhang and the others were also furious. If so, then kill the 9 emperors first. The celestial the arch heaved a sigh. Spirit, stop them. Battle, stop watching the show. If this goes on, we will all be exterminated. You won't be able to escape. The celestial the arch laughed. I'm not watching the show. I just have something to ask you. The celestial the arch grinned. I just want to know, 8,000 years ago, which bastard tricked me into the source? I walked the path of energy and wanted to try the second source. How did I end up in the source? This is strange. It has been 8,000 years, and I still can't figure it out. 8,000 years ago, he had not walked the path of the source. But 8,000 years ago, he was walking the path of energy. Suddenly, he entered the source. He was dumbfounded. There was no justice. He fell into the trap just like that. Otherwise, he would be able to watch the show like the young god today. The celestial the arch chuckled. There is a yang in the three realms. There should not be a second Do. I wasn't the only one who thought this way. Everyone, including Yang, thought the same. He didn't want another person like him to join the ranks of the academy. He just conveniently pushed you into the pit. Oh right, Hong is the most enthusiastic. Otherwise, he would have stopped you from preaching in the land realm. The celestial the arch burst into laughter and sighed. You guys can't bear to see others doing well. Otherwise, I can create a second source, and maybe I can solve the problem of the source. The celestial arch said calmly. Why don't you create your own? You created the path of energy, but you insisted on building it on the source. Your path has a more serious flaw. Energy wraps around the source. It is just a pseudo-path, instead of making the source worse. I would rather let you enter the trap, so that you won't continue to add to the mess. The celestial arch smiled helplessly. Finally, I understand everything. No wonder. No wonder he fell into a trap 8,000 years ago. Everyone tricked him together. Then there was nothing he could do. These people did not want another bystander. The celestial arch did not want him to burden the source ground either. Therefore, they tricked him into entering the trap. Now he was in deep trouble. It was better to call it the 10 sovereigns than the 9 sovereigns and the emperor. If we continue to fight, the source ground will collapse. The celestial source is not mature yet. Today is not the time to collapse. The celestial arch heaved a sigh. All of a sudden, he reached behind him, the sky covering palm. With a rumble, the page boy and the others were smashed away. The celestial arch laughed. Let's wait for a while. When the world barrier is broken and the 3 realms are united, we can fight again after the source ground is repaired. It will not be a loss no matter who dies. If someone dies now, it will be a great loss. At this moment, the celestial arch was no longer powerless when he was chasing Fong Ping. With a single punch, he sent Xu Xiang flying. Then, he turned around and sent Zhang Tao flying with another punch. Then, he grabbed the old cat and the heavenly hound with his palm and tossed them several tens of thousands of miles away. Xiong said that there are 4 chess players in the 3 realms. I think you guys are ignoring me. Show me some respect. The celestial arch chuckled. He ignored Fong Ping and let him destroy the source ground. Let's go when it's about time. It's enough to take advantage of the situation. Today is not the day for the final battle. You go back and stabilize the second source ground. If the effect is good, there might not be a bloody battle in a few months. Cat, go back and cultivate. Become stronger. Who knows, you might be able to suppress the chaos of the source ground. That will be a great merit. Meow. What's the use of scolding me? The celestial arch grinned. I didn't start the chaos of the source ground. There are too many people you should scold. Plus, you have been having fun for tens of thousands of years. You don't lose anything. A cat trapped is better than the 3 realms trapped. I should have taught you a lesson back then and made you stronger. Meow. Scolding me is useless. The celestial arch grinned again. With a punch, the cat was blasted out of the source ground. The celestial arch was incomparably valiant, the top 4 powerhouses in the 3 realms. You're tuning into the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.